Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. This is Superfern here, joined today by my commentary partner Frosty. We are bringing you the first day of the first matches of second day of Low Ink. Frosty, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. I believe this first match will be Guerrilla Tactics against, I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but it's Chatuba de Mesquita? I'm sorry in advance. Someone's upset at me for that. Alright, what do you know about these teams? What do you see going in?
Well, I know three of that team that you can't pronounce it. Quite a good effort pronouncing that. That's not an easy word. Gigas and Zardino and Art. I think they are a pickup team. Very found friends of mine. I really love them that much. Vapor, which I mostly talk on the Hidden Radiance server. I don't remember exactly what does Vapor play, but I'm very excited to see a Vapor QB combination going on, because the QB is also a very familiar name. And on Zones Inkblot Our Academy, it's gonna be pretty interesting since I think Inkblot Our Academy is one of my favorite maps. I do love it a lot on TC since it can move pretty fast. What comps do you expect to see regardless of the teams?
Since this is Zones Inkblot, I do expect to see a lot of, just quick, fast, lethal stuff, just because you want to get control of that top mid, and once you have control of that top mid, it's very easy to start locking your opponent out. Like you said, it's a fast-paced map, and this is a map that can get really condensed really quickly. You want to play very forward, so you'll see a lot of faster stuff that can just pressure that ledge. You might even see a niche pick like a Slosher come out this game. And getting into the team comps, you can see that Guerrilla Tactics has actually brought Explosher plus Bloblobber, which is an interesting comp to see, especially for this map. And Chatuba has gone with something a little more standard, with just the 4 shooters comp, rocking the Junior for their choice of armor.
I do agree. It's a very weird combination. We do see the Axel, which is expected, a Blob to think as much, and the Stingray already popping out from the Jet Scorcher. It's already being much of a thing to deal with, taking few people at least, leaving the Blob and the Dualies left alive, giving Mesquita the control of the zone for the first time. Blob tried to take control of this right tree as being pressured by a lot of people from over there, with the Jet Scorcher jumping from top of the map to the right side. Armor being used by R, with the Jet Scorcher also very bad position on the left side. Point sensor being thrown left and right, and that does give the throw of the zone back to the enemy team.
Right, now you can see that Guerrilla Tactics is starting to use that pressure from the Bloblobber and Explosher combination to try and take control of the opponent's ledge. It's really hard to move up there once you got pressure going, and you're going to see QB start to put that to work excellently, as well as specials now coming online for both teams. Booyah Bomb coming out to center mid while missiles fly out from the end of Guerrilla Tactics. Azardino is finally in with the K-52, and he's looking for a pick. He manages to pop the baller of the Explosher, gets a 1, maybe 2 onto this Bloblobber if he can push a little bit forward, but no zone paint coming out from the end of Chatuba, which is going to put them in a dangerous situation as they get fully wiped here. This is not good if you're in Chatuba's situation. You gotta find a way to get some paint on the zone fast, and Vapor now using that Explosher to just keep pressuring the ledge, so makes you wonder if they're gonna be able to come back to the zone in time.
Nah, I don't think that's gonna be possible. There is barely enough time to get even a single special, and that's gonna be first game going for Guerrilla Tactics. I honestly would say in very blank, the problem with Chatuba de Mesquita was mostly not well coordination of the specials at the very end. They managed to use a Stingray, but after Kenneth finished using the Stingray, you can see not a lot of state happened with Guerrilla Tactics. Not a single pick was, not a single one was picked by their teammates. So at the end, it was not a very good Stingray at the end of the match. And then with the baller in, pressuring the 52, who could not approach the Bob, as you mentioned, was just harder and harder to get the zone back. So that's why I feel Guerrilla Tactics managed to just cancel any possibilities of push from Chatuba de Mesquita at the end.
Right, and it was one of those matches where it was just, that could have been an even game, but Guerrilla Tactics just kept winning the important firefights, and at the end it led to Chatuba being unable to push in. Special coordination was one end of it. I think there was also, moments where you kind of looked at it and they said, we don't know what to do against this comp, and they got a little scatterbrain. They didn't sit back or build their specials or try and use them together. They just kind of took any chance they could have to get a pick and kind of, just rushed in. So it did lead to them getting picked off. Great coordination holding it together from the side of Guerrilla Tactics, however. You just want to use those weapons, that quick splash, and, massive zone control you have between those two AoE weapons that just control so much space. And it's going to be very essential here going on to Splat Zone's Wahoo World. This is another map where you can get locked out pretty quickly, so it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to strategies from both sides.
True. And just a little bit of a heads up for viewers. This is gonna be a day alpha with counter picks, and Chatuba de Mesquita has decided to choose Wahoo Zones, which is also I would say is a better map for using specifically the Stingray, which they decided to keep. And Guerrilla Tactics are also keeping mostly the entire comp. I don't remember if there was a splash, but there's a lot of paint that's going to be very helpful on taking control of the zone.
Right, you can see the Ray coming out really early here, just trying to look for a pick onto somebody, really anybody at this point, but I think if you're wanting to look for picks in specific here, you're trying to look for one of the Blob or the Explosher, just because it gets rid of so much paint on the zone, as Guerrilla Tactics here is going to be gaining control of the zone with those suction bomb launchers. Inkjet coming out in the end from Chatuba, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to find any picks just yet, as Guerrilla Tactics now folds into the zone. Now they have the offensive positioning here, as two are going to go down from the end of Chatuba. It's going to look pretty lean, like it's looking towards the last game.
It is the best of three. With this Neo Splash trying to take control of the left side, keeping attention from Mesquita very away. The Neo Splash managed to get one. Julian managed to finish it off, which is not that great in terms of for Mesquita, because they lost most of the aggression from the Nautilus, but it seems that the aggression on the zone is happening with Anzardinho on the K-shot being very aggressive, take control of the zone, and it's just a Neo Splash that just respawned from a previous fight. Control of the zone is on the hands of Mesquita, and they have an early opportunity to use the missiles to push them away.
Right, and you can see now that they're starting to get set up on that zone here with not much effort really from them in terms of holding it together, but now Guerrilla Tactics is just going to quickly cap the zone between use of that Blobber and the Explosher. Wow, that is a mouthful.
Oh yeah, I mean, it came full of mouthfuls here.
Yeah, no, seriously, I fumbled that so bad. Anyways, back to the game. You can see they're starting to use that Stingray to keep control of the zone here. The Junior here is really just looking for chances to keep the zone in their favor. That Baller is not going to be enough to quickly cap the zone, even though it does shift it back to neutral for a bit. They're going to keep control of the zone, maybe just for a little bit longer. Guerrilla Tactics does, however, manage to get the cap, giving them that extra penalty, just some time to breathe, get their specials together, maybe find a little bit better positioning before trying to take this comp on head-on.
With the aggression from Mesquita, what I'm seeing is they try to get important picks, as you mentioned. Getting the blob is very important for reducing the output of paint, but at the same time you have to avoid getting to positions that are not beneficial to you. We saw, I believe, the Nautilus try to engage and survive a shooter, and that paid off. You got the blob, but at the same time you lost the control of the zone because of how much paint you can do from other weapons. And this was a really good play over here, with now a Stingray getting the important picks and pushing Guerrilla Tactics away from the zone. The Inkjet's gonna be popped up here from the Nautilus. The Nautilus is a lot of very weak from a previous damage. The penalty, he has been depleted. 40 points is so close to 27, they might have even got the lead here if Guerrilla Tactics can get even closer to the zone.
Alright, Guerrilla Tactics going to make that quick cap though between that Suction Bomb Rush and the use of that custom dually sculptures, as they're now moving up to where the other team wants to drop down from that ledge, QB using the Blobber just to kind of pressure that mid route, you know, just make sure that they can't get up. The Explosher just kind of works beautifully with that in that aspect. You can see Geigus looking for a flank, however, he gets caught by the Neo Splash here, and now the penalty is going to probably tick down all the way as Azardino gets caught here just by one of those spare blob bubbles, and now they're in a situation where they're going to have to find a special to push back in, otherwise it's going to end pretty quickly.
15 points remaining on the clock. It's just 2 people left on the zone. The bomb rush is going to be used a lot to keep at least the zone for a little bit more points. 50 seconds also remaining on the clock. Stingray is being deployed, but it's not going to be enough, and Gorilla Tactics takes the first set of Lewink, sending Mesquita to the loser's bracket. I'm sorry, my friends, Anzardinho, Gigas, and Art. I will be seeing you only on the winners finals if you guys manage to make it back. But for now, we are going to be advancing with Gorilla Tactics. Congratulations to the team. Very well use of the Explo, Blob, and the structures.
Right, that was a very interesting comp you saw coming out from the end of Gorilla Tactics. It's not something you would very, you know, typically see, but considering we saw 2 zones games, it's not hard to see why it worked. This is just a mode that can very heavily be determined by paint sometimes, and you saw the way that they just alternated between utilizing the area control of the Blob and the explosive radius of the Explosher, and it just made it so hard for Chatuba to approach at any given point. You know, if you tried to get in too aggressive on the Blob, you died to the Explosher. If you tried to finally dive on that Explosher, they either popped a baller on you because they had it ready, or then you had to be fighting the Blob, which can just zone you out with all the massive amount of bubbles it can output.
I agree pretty much. So I would just like to call for a short break. This was just the first match of day 2, so don't go anywhere. I like to also appreciate Chara for rating the chat. Thank you very much. Always appreciate giving support for the low division, low wink teams. They all appreciate it very much. We'll be coming back for round 2, best of 5 counter picks, alpha bracket day 2 low wink. Stay tuned. welcome back to set number 2 of day 2 of Low Wink November. This is technically the last second to last low wink, so there's a lot of twos in the sentences. Because December is going to be the last low wink of 2021. The year coming to an end, but Splatoon 2 is still strong. Well, still existing at least. We're gonna be hopping in for the next match, Persistence versus Snowfall. Firstly, you were mentioning just before you were trying to remember what Persistence was and where did you commentate them, right?
Right, yeah, and I've seen this team before, and I do know a few of these players, particularly Stormy and Bearpaw, two very aggressive players who are just very good at, finding situations, positions where the opponent is just kind of locked out of mid, and that type of aggressive play is really going to come in use here as I don't really know what Snowfall likes to bring, but there's never a case where aggression played correctly is bad, so it'll be interesting to see what happens going into this game.
Apparently, you just said tactical fitting can actually be useful, but that's debatable in my book. Anyway, so zones best of 5 on Piranha Pit. Do you think we're still gonna see the Jet Scorcher? Because Jet Scorcher, at least the Stingray can also be played here, even the missile one.
Right, yeah, this is just a map where a lot of things work. I think you're going to see a lot of missiles going into this match. You did mention Vanilla Jet, but this is also a very K-shot heavy map. It's just a missile controlled map. Just because of the way mid is structured, the two ramps kind of close in on the zones together, and it's that type of map where you can very easily get into your opponent's face, but there's also a lot of ways to come in. So it's really just, what do these teams want to do about balancing the aggression with the paint control of the map?
I don't know, but the first thing that comes to mind is Dynamo on a conveyor belt just spamming Booyah Bombs. Whoa, I got it right at least.
Well, there we go. We are going to see a K-Dynamo coming from the end of Snowfall, but now on the end of Persistence, they have a comp that is not too unusual for this stage, actually. You can see the K-Gal, K-Shine, just able to control a lot of space. H3 does have a lot of range to help give some paint, and the Vanilla Jet will be firing missiles, and two specials already coming out from the end of Snowfall. Just a lot of immediate paint control, but it's not going to be enough as two members of them go down, maybe trading off with one of the members of Persistence, and you can see the way that H3 and K-Gal combination just kind of work together, forcing the opponent to just fight them head on, and it's not going to be enough as the zone goes into control of Persistence with that splashdown.
Control of the zone on the hands of Persistence is being a very, very good pressure. I meant the slushing machine throwing fizzy bombs is applying a lot of pressure. The missiles will be able to manage to move the players of Persistence away from the zone for a little bit of a neutralization of them. But at the same time, two people from both teams do go down, which can be either a good thing or a bad thing. Trying to avoid the missiles from the Jet Scorcher from Persistence is gonna make them fall back. Snowfall from back, and I do hope that is not a domino effect. With the flank from the 52 behind the Dynamo gets smart, looks behind them, and managed to get the counter pick, controlling the zone for even a little bit more points and probably taking the lead in just a few seconds.
Right, and that was really unfortunate for that K-Gal. You saw the way RNG affected his shots as he was going for the Dynamo, and the Dynamo had that nice reaction speed. Just a situation where it was both a little bit of skill and a little bit of luck, and Snowfall is going to be going one even here with Persistence. Stormy finally starting to use that Booyah Bomb to move on to the zone. You might see control of the zone shift over with that Booyah Bomb from Snowfall coming just a little bit early for what they were needing. Tri-Slosher here getting a very important pick onto the K-Gal, moving forward, may collect two, and both teams are now 2 down, so you're going to see them kind of moving into mid here, trying to clean up the opposing team. Those missiles from the end of Snowfall making just a little bit harder for Persistence to gain their footing here.
If the ends up trying to get a little bit of touch on the left side, it meets the 52 had been splattered by the bucket on the right. That does make the situation very dire for a little bit of getting armor. Snowfall's teammates were very good on calling that and helping whenever they had the opportunity to. There's a very good play from Snowfall, and the control of the zone is technically on the hands of them. And Persistence is having a lot of trouble with the Jet Scorcher going down. Armor being popped from the H3. Splashdown from the Slushy Machine is ready. There's a lot of fight happening on the right side. That does end up getting a lot of picks from both sides. Splashdown tries to get control of the zone, and first the Dynamo, it's the first wipe of the tournament with the at least the first wipe that I counted, with Persistency getting control of both zones and most likely getting the penalty all down to 0 and getting to past 62 points.
Right, and now you can see they're starting to come back in quickly. That was not a very staggered wipe, but very impressive on the end of Persistence, getting those important picks there. Now they're going to take the lead as Ray goes down here. They're just not letting up on this pressure. They have to keep holding forward, and you can see the K-Gal getting another pick onto it, just barely going down as Freeze is now going to start cleaning up, looking to take advantage in this 2-down situation that they have Persistence in. This Persistence's respawns are starting to come in a little bit slower now, and I think that may be a QR situation. I didn't entirely catch the gear at the beginning of the game. Freeze here just keeps farming for paint. You can see the NZAP K-Shot just trying to get control of the zones here as they're going to finally start ticking down this penalty as Persistence looks to get their footing under them.
2 people left alive for Persistency. Snowfall has 4 alive, 1 armor holding it, 1 rain, and just barely managed to finish using their armor. That was a very well played, but will they be able to survive the 2 combo specials coming from Persistence with Missiles Armor, Booyah Bomb, and Missiles Armor and Booyah Bomb, and possibly a Splashdown coming from the zone trying to cap that. 57 to 59 is not necessarily a safe lead. I appreciate Kai for trying to Splashdown cancel that Slushing Machine. Points for that. And even more points that he managed to stay alive. The push was well intended, and the lead of 57 to 59 is very close to each other. Anything can still happen in the last 25 seconds of this match.
Right, and the game's so close too. Both of these teams are going to have to be fighting for control of the zone. Very tight match here. You're going to see the bombs here just kind of swarming the Dynamo. They're looking to try and get rid of him because he's just controlling so much space. And the bombs now coming from the end of Persistence. They're just looking to cap the zone, but they can't get a hold of it. Snowfall doing a great job holding them out here. Missiles coming out from the end of Persistence. They're all swarming in the mid now. Can they manage to get control of the zone in time? We're going to go right into overtime, folks. Let's see what happens here with a wipe coming on to Snowfall. This could be it.
10 seconds remaining on the clock. Do the countdown. Dynamo can take the zone, and it's game for Persistence.
That was so close.
Remember when you said about aggression at the beginning of the match?
Yeah.
So the 52 manages to finally put the Dynamo away from the position. Which in the end they did. The Dynamo didn't ignore that. They did pay attention. Same time, everyone paid attention to the 52 flanking from the right conveyor, which enabled the situation of not getting the zone painted. So everyone was looking at one side. Persistence paints both zones and gets the wipe. Very well played on a very risky play of just rushing in as a 52.
And you saw the way that aggression did end up mattering at just the very tail end of the game. You know, it got to some pretty tight situations. That zone counter was very back and forth. Was not a situation where either team really had a safe lead for the entirety of the match. So makes you wonder, you know, what's going to be the counter pick if you're Snowfall? Like, what do you do? That game was so even that you just... I think if you're Snowfall here, you just pick with what you're comfortable, you know? You know what your comp's good at, pick something you're comfortable with, and look to gain the upper hand.
Okay, can I play Rainmaker Moray Towers? No. Comment. The gods from IPL are telling me that is not possible. Let's keep going for the counter pick that I was about to guess, but it is a good one. TC on Anchovy. Because I do love Anchovy games quite a lot, specifically for zones. I can actually camp as a charger. Do you like Anchovy, TC?
I actually think it's a pretty interesting map. It's one of those maps where you really have to balance whether you're going to try and take things slow, or if you're going to gun to that top platform, and once you have control of that top middle area, it's very hard for teams to stop pushes. That's a very snowbally map once you get past the first checkpoint. But the middle game is where everything starts, and of course, that's the hardest part to get through.
Yeah, good pun. But yes, second checkpoint is the hardest one to get. You get exposed to at least 2 different sides. With a sloshing machine, it becomes quite easily, since you are being the one focusing over the high ground, and while the shooters focus on the ones coming from in front of you. If you manage to coordinate your action in terms of like who is focusing on where, and even with some good specials for it, like an inkjet, positioning yourself just above the fan, where only a very long range weapon like a E-leader or sniper can take you down, you basically have free shots and can break the second checkpoint quite easily. So let's see if Snowball has a counter pick, because I do believe their team, the Dynamo, was actually their MVP by keeping the zones, and they had managed to throw 10 Booyah bombs at that match. Going for the first TC match, we already saw 3 zones. We see the Jet Scorcher from Bear Paw. We see no backliner coming from Snowfall. A lot of turf happening in mid. Both teams already deploying their specials missiles coming from the Flings, a very good underrated weapon that barely anyone uses these days. Inkjet, not barely anyone. Few people use it. Inkjet coming in from the left side, trying to get the pressure from Persistence, getting Stormy in the end. The 52 is the main aggression from Persistence. They do have less aggression, but they also lost the end zap, so it means that the Rider of the Tower will unfortunately be unavailable to get even to the first checkpoint. Control of the right fan is of very great importance, especially if you are the Tri-Slosher and can easily apply a lot of pressure. Great jump back, trying to stay alive. Control of the zone is still debatable between both teams. Booyah Bomb being thrown from Persistence on the right fan. They have control now of mid. Stingray being very, very used on the right side, but the Inkjet is doing their best to at least keep Persistence away from the first checkpoint area, which is working quite nicely. So at this point, we're seeing 2 evenly teams trying to take control of the zone with just 11 points on the board from Snowfall.
Right, now Snowfall doesn't really have much of a lead here, as you were saying, but they're going to go 2 down here. As Persistence goes 3s down, this might be a situation where Snowfall gets to extend that lead kind of effortlessly now, with all the members of Persistence having the feedback in, and that Nautilus taking really center control of that fan area. Just now they have to get past that first checkpoint. Persistence needs to find a way to stop that aggression before it gets to where they can't stop it anymore.
Jet Scorcher on the lower ground. It is debatable if this position is actually good, because now you're literally exposing yourself to every close range from Snowfall. Persistence is not playing that Jet Scorcher that well. I would recommend you go to the high ground. You are just swimming back and forth trying to find the position, and if you are on the high ground from the map, you actually have much more safety in order to work and also paint for your teammates as well.
Well, now it's going to be a situation where Snowfall's members are starting to go down to Persistence. This K-Shine, and now you can see the way they're starting to be forced out themselves. Okay. Ooh, that was sudden. Hold up, what even got him?
No, I'm checking the replay in the meantime. I can actually see, because I'm watching the stream at the same time from
very narrow pick there. Persistence kind of had their push suddenly kind of put to a stop from that sudden pick. You know, that aggression did kind of play against them, as now Snowfall's starting to get back into mid. They're just going to take control with their paint again. That Tri-Slosher getting up. Now that Stingray's in trouble too, because he lost his defender. Not a situation that you want to be in if you're Persistence. You need to find a way to kind of bunker down and make sure you're not losing any more points here to Snowfall, as they're going to fire the missiles out, losing their K-Machine, and you can see the way that these picks are just kind of going back and forth, but Snowfall is just always managing to stay 1 pick ahead, especially with the fact that they already have the tower advantage. They just keep pressing forward, and there's not much Persistence can do about it, because their comp is not just wanting to handle that aggression.
I actually agree pretty much. It is a very difficult to handle that aggression. The Tri-Slosher pick on the right side, protecting their French teammate, using the Stingray, that was a very well play. Enabling, maybe if they survive the Inkjet, to start at least their own push and maybe break the first checkpoint. Nautilus just lands, trying to get control. The Gal comes into their base. It's finally time for Persistence to start pushing. 52 Gal's RNG is doing some blastings. Tri-Slosher is the only one left from Snowfall. Coming from above, it's the sloshing machine right here that I mentioned previously. You see how much it can actually apply pressure. Taking the lead, Snowfall with 1 minute remaining has to do a lot in order to take control of the match.
Right, now Snowfall is in the situation where they have to be the one in the fighting end. Getting rid of that sloshing machine is the first step, as that's a lot of pressure onto your upper platforms that is just gone. But Stormy may be backing out here, but they're just going to keep trying to apply it as Horatio finally comes in. And you can just see the way they're using that space, the fizzy bombs, the walls from the K-52. It's very hard to get in on this comp, and now Persistence is in the lead. So if you're Snowfall, you got to find a way to get another one of what you were doing earlier in the game. You got to find those picks, and you just have to get it on the opponent before they can really start to set up. And this H3 is doing wonderfully at just making sure they're kept at just a little bit of bay, so the team has the time to get the respawns they need for this final defense going in to the last 10 seconds of this match.
9 seconds remaining. Can Snowfall actually manage to do it? They take down the Inkjet. The GG Easy Rays coming in, trying to stop the tower with 2 people remaining. It's game over. Persistence takes game 2, and Snowfall needs to do a reverse sweep in order to continue in the winner's bracket. Fun fact, GG Easy Ray is actually canon in Splatoon. It's called Shiny Victory Beam. You can get that dialogue from Callie and Marie on the story mode from Octo Canyon.
Wait, is that actually, that's a neat little tidbit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, shiny. If you talk like we had a DLC with more content and people forget about the small details. It's adorable to just talk with them, and also they give you important statistics. Like, one of the statistics that I always try to get is how accurate are my shots. They managed to, for some reason the Splatoon app counts how many fully charged shots from a sniper connects to an enemy player, and that gives you like an accuracy for you to study.
Alright, and speaking of accuracy, let's talk about the way Persistence was handling these games. That was some killer accuracy with their pushes, as you can just kind of notice the way that when they started getting into positions where they can move forward, they held the platform with the pressure from that sloshing machine and that K-Gal. Very, very good performance from them. It was just kind of hard to, handle that sort of aggression. And now, Snowfall is on the back foot. They have to find a map here that they can just find a way to just catch the pressure. It's when Persistence gets going, Snowfall has to find a way to stop it from just rolling them over. And Splat Zone's Humpback Pump Track just might be the map for them. Plays into their short range pretty well, but it's a little bit of a map where you got to be careful here, because this is a map where you can get locked out very easily.
I agree with that, and also remember the first game where we saw the Dynamo being like very well painting weapon. Well, basically this is the best map for abusing a Dynamo range and just like keeping the zone painted with Booyah Bomb spam. I would say Snowfall has very good advantage over here on this map. It's just gonna be a matter if they can coordinate counter stopping pushes from Persistence. If they manage to do it as they were doing most of the match of NCHOVTC, at least at the beginning, with the only exception of the last push, which was the downfall, they might be able to take this to game 4.
Right, and as you can see, they brought up that original zones comp, that Dynamo, and they are still utilizing this Novo try. It's quite the pick for this map, really, because it's like, earlier you kind of saw what it wanted to do. It wanted to get in the face of people and just kind of do it, but now you don't have exactly as much angle to work with, even on a map that's very notorious for being very slosher friendly. Persistence is just getting in, and they also have a Dynamo of their own. Or is that foil? No, it is not. I was correct.
Yes, so purple team Snowfall brought back the Dynamo. They had a Flingza foil on the previous match. But I do not understand why has Persistence abandoned the slushing. Well, they do have the bucket. The enemy team does have the bucket. Actually, no. I think they never had a Persistence. Never brought a bucket. I'm making myself a fool here. Control of the zone is still in the hands of Snowfall. 50 points already on the map with 1 minute off match. This is not looking good for Persistence. Snowfall has indeed all the controls, and if they manage to avoid the Booyah Bomb and the Mississippi Direct Puncher, they might be able to actually KO in one go.
Yeah, but it's going to be a very tight thing. The zone gets painted very quickly, and you saw the way that Booyah just took control of 50% of the zone. As Persistence is going to get the cap here, not for long though. They're going to have to fight a little harder just to keep control of the zone. As you can see, Snowfall's members all kind of funnel into mid, and the way they can take those positions so quickly just because of the spread of that Dynamo, as well as the utility of that Tri-Slosher, just having the Splat Bomb and access to very, very quick damage is just going to be very troubling for Persistence. They need to find their footing here. I think this double missile launch is going to be just what they need to start moving back into mid. They can find a couple picks.
Agree with the combination of 2 misses coming from the Vesper and the K-Shot and the Booyah Bomb and the Armor. 4 specials being used, trying to take control of the zone back to Persistence hands. Persistence, Booyah, 52 gal, very aggressive, taking control, getting the pick on the Dynamo, which enables them to finally get the zone back. Very well coordination of specials over here. And we see that now the 52 is a little bit cautious, trying to not get picked by anyone else from Snowfall. I would say this match could actually go further with a little bit more points, but not necessarily getting the pick on the Neo splash on the left side, but the Booyah Bomb from the Dynamo managed to finish it off the 52.
Alright, now I just kind of want to take this moment to talk about, just what Booyah Bomb does for the zone. You see the way that the zone is. It's very small. It's centered up on a hill. You become a very easy target besides the natural cover that's really sitting in that zone. So Booyah Bomb being a special that just, when you throw it in the middle of the zone, it pretty much eats up the entire zone. It's just such a great aggressive special being able to control here. Now you're going to see Snowfall put that to work as they get that almost instantaneous cap with the Suction Bomb launcher being used to pressure onto that platform further. If you're Persistence here, you need to find a way to build your specials and try and get in on the aggression of Snowfall before you end up finding yourself stuck in a lockout situation.
Persistence trying their best, getting 3 picks with only the Neo Splash left alive. Will they be able to get the final pick? It's not alive. They jump back to the zone. 2 people alive from Snowfall. They are trying to get now control of the zone. The Gal gets the important pick on the right side, taking the armor away from Snowfall. This is looking good. This is looking big, but unfortunately the 52 jumps into a 3v1 and gets spotted. And the Splash-O-Matic at the same time trying to get control of the zone. Doesn't manage to throw the Booyah Bombs, just with the Booyah Bombs of the Dynamo, managed to save it and apply the 28 points. That was a very good save. Please ends up next time, be a little bit more cautious when I get picked by the 52. You could have picked the zone a little bit earlier because of that.
Right, now you can see the Bear Paw is starting to try and get his own. Snowfall is just getting very aggressive, getting onto that platform here. This is a situation where Persistence finally has control of the zone, but I don't think it will be for long with the Booyah Bombs coming out. However, they do manage to keep control of the zone. That penalty timer is finally down, so if you're Persistence, this is the chance you get to take the lead. A pick coming out from Freeze here in a 2v1 does not manage to get any of the picks needed here, but Shadolphin going down to the members of Snowfall. Now you have to realize, it's like, which way is this going to go, and how are you going to get a situation where you can secure a lockout if you're Snowfall, and how can you avoid being locked out once again if you're in Persistence? And that's just kind of the theme of this match, is that once you have control of the zone, you're immediately holding forward and trying to look for the best way to keep your opponent away from the zone. Now you can see Persistence has that armor here starting to funnel in, the armor also coming out from Snowfall. It's just very difficult to find just kind of a stopping point, as you can see the Tri-Slosher here getting a pick onto a member of Persistence before going down.
Everyone from Persistence isn't aware of the control of the zone. They just got to keep their missiles away. Booyah Bomb a little bit earlier on the hands of Persistence. Didn't get anyone picked, but with 20 points remaining to get the clock, that's about 15 seconds on the clock to get the points, because random points are faster. Booyah Bomb coming in from the Dynamo, but they're trying their combination of specials right now. 26 points, 26 points, they get control. It's 2-1. This is going game 4.
Honestly, very tight game there. That could have gone either way at the very end. If you're Persistence, you were just really looking for that last chance to keep the zone. You were so close, but unfortunately that is how Booyah Bomb functions on this map. Just once it gets thrown down, there's not really much you can do besides try and paint under it, and they just did not have the paint output to stop it from capping the zone near instantly.
Now let's see if Persistence paid attention to the homework, because I did think that this match would go for Snowfall, mostly because of how the Dynamo played, as in it's a very well weapon to get control of the zone, and that's why they almost managed to win game 1. If Persistence choose their counter pick correct, they might be able to take the game 4 for them and go to advanced round 3. I honestly think that counterpicking with zones, it needs to be a very, very good map in terms of like your spawn is away from the zone. So Mako zones would be ideal, but at the same time, if they pick something as volatile as Rainmaker, they need to make sure they can do at least one push as big as they did on TC. So either they make a TC or Clam Blitz. Oh, they're gonna go for the Clam Blitz Reef, which might be a little bit difficult since Clam Blitz Reef has a lot demand, like you need a lot of control off the bridge, and if a Dynamo is sitting there, you might have some problems.
Right, but now we can talk about kind of how Persistence, this pick does make sense for Persistence. As you saw, they were utilizing a lot of stranger, longer range picks, and with the ability to kind of have control of the bridge, you'll notice that once they get set up, there's not going to be a lot stopping them from holding mid, as well as the fact that they might be bringing out the K-Machine again, which is going to have those fizzy bombs to help just kind of pressure the entire general area. But the Dynamo is going to be probably another pick you'll see coming out here from Snowfall. Just the way that they have access to the bridge means that it could be a situation where they could lock people out, but also Dynamo's going to have trouble moving up past that bridge, since you're just going to have to face Persistence's constant missile barrages, constant bombs. It'll just be so hard to push in if you don't have a lot of paint or a lot of man advantage. So it's not exactly too strange a pick when you really think about it.
No, it's not a bad pick at all. If they picked zones, I wanted to slap them, because it would have been weird. But also, the good thing about Clam Blitz Reef, we saw the 52 loves to flame. Like, we saw 52 going on trenches, we saw the 52 trying to get underneath the Dynamo on zones. So probably we're going to see a lot of the 52 trying to get a lot of control. Sorry, I got a lot of flanks from behind Snowfall's defense lines.
Right, now getting into this game 4, we're going to see an interesting pick coming out from Snowfall. They have discarded the Dynamo in place of the Forge Pro. Kind of an interesting pick, actually. Now you got to see what those bubbles are going to do in terms of pushing. Now, of course, we know they are going to be going for instant pops and going to have ways to push in, but how is that going to help them when it comes to getting rid of Persistence's aggressiveness? And now you can see they're already forcing a 3-down situation. Stormy getting in, grabbing what I believe might have been a double for them, as that Booyah Bomb is now coming out, and it's going to be a very early lead for Persistence here, as Snowfall has to find a way to get their footing quickly before things start going really bad.
True, a little bit points trying to be thrown, but Persistence plays safe, gets into a position, Slashing Machine tries to fall back, no follow-up from that, no one goes after the machine. It was a Booyah Bomb mostly to get the pressure away, but the control of the bridge is still in the hands of the Persistence. Bombs and rain are being thrown left and right, control of the bridge seems to shift now to Snowfall, but at the same time, with just the first minute already scoring 47 points, it puts Snowfall in a very dire situation. Trislasher trying to get the picks. Probably there is one person in the armor fighting on the back, because I saw a little bit of a smoke. 2 people already down from Snowfall. It doesn't look good for them at all. Juggling clams, trying to get the pick. Trislasher cancel the Slashing Machine splashdown. It's a very good positioning themselves behind the bridge, once again being pressured for Booyah Bomb to try to take control. It does seem that there's not going to be a push from Persistence just yet, since most of their aggression has been cancelled and all 3 of them are underneath their spawn.
Right, now you can find Persistence building up the clams here, as well as Snowfall trying to start getting their footing back, making sure that they are building clams of their own. just kind of a fight for mid right now. You have to look from both teams' perspectives here and look for which team is just kind of going to get the upper hand first. These K-52s going at it under the bridge, and the H3 is actually going to get the pick onto the K-52 of Snowfall, as now they're in another 3-down situation. This could be another moment where they just find the time to get the push in and start scoring, and that's exactly going to happen. Horatio getting under here, taking out the in zap, and now K-52 is trying to get in onto it, but Stormy's getting up and behind the members of Snowfall. This could be very scary if you're in Snowfall's position, because now you got to stop them from scoring, and you got members of Persistence just kind of swarming you from every angle, but it's not going to be scoring fast enough to keep that basket up. It's going to put everything back to neutral just for a moment.
Wow, that was a great push, and I think I now understand a little bit more why Persistence has been excelling so much. They just needed one opportunity to push in, because apparently, differently from Snowfall, Persistence has more of quick time answers. They easily know how to engage their players and punish Snowfall for being on a bad situation where it wouldn't benefit them. We saw the Forge engaging at a close combat on the H3 getting a double here. There's a very nice. They are gonna once more try to push in with the ball, but unfortunately the Jet Sculpture wasn't wearing the ball just yet, trying to find a position to push. They jump in just underneath the basket, 52 trying to get at least the H3. They managed to break the basket, but it's just gonna apply and get them a little bit of penalty.
Right, and that's a little bit of a questionable play if you're Snowfall here, because now you got to worry about if you're Persistence here, because now you got to worry about Snowfall having that extra power clam at hand, just another quick 20 burst to score if they manage to get in. But if you're also Persistence, now you have to get paint control back, because you just lost 2 of your members to a sharking try, and the fact that jump in just kind of did not go as planned for them. Now 3 of the members of Snowfall going down, though. Horatio with that incredible aggressive play. They're actually going to get what is a staggered wipe here, and this is just not good if you're Snowfall, because what was going to be a great chance for you to start holding the middle of the map kind of turned against you, since you were just playing a little too forward. And now you can notice that Persistence is getting in here, scoring once more, maybe just knocking out the... Oh, they missed. Oh, shoot. Now Persistence is 2 down. So this could be a moment where Snowfall has a chance to turn things around in the last 30 seconds of the game.
I'm finding a little bit difficult to believe that. Sorry for everyone in the chat that is rooting for them, but from what I'm seeing is that the Snowfall hasn't found an opportunity to actually get underneath the basket. They do have just one power clam, a little bit of power. That's what they are mostly trying to do. They were trying to find a setup to use bubbles with the Forge, but unfortunately, that just never ended up happening because of the aggression of Persistence. And at the end of the day, they were not worried about giving them power clams. They were just aware that the aggression they would apply would just be, oh yeah, you can score a little bit, but not gonna do much.
Wait, hold on. This game isn't over yet. You now notice that Snowfall has scored. This could be a thing. The bubble's coming out. The wall as well from the K-52. This could be a last-second turnaround if they can get this going. Persistence does manage to find this pick, but the members of Snowfall are still coming in. Horatio is now managing to get a couple picks. Members of Snowfall jumping in. Can they find a couple chances to score, or will it go down as just another victory for Persistence?
Not a victory for Persistence, but GG's for Snowfall. At least the last push was actually quite nice. If they had found an opportunity to do that multiple of times, they would have gotten the lead way sooner and probably win the game. But having to... I would say that at the beginning they were not that much organized. They already went 50 points on the score in the first minute. And then Persistence just kept scoring many times, at least 4 or 3 times. It was a nice attempt at the end, at least. I was just for that, replayed that moment, tried to rewatch why that worked, and tried to just replicate it many times with the bubbles from the Forge as the instigator of the push.
Right, and Persistence did play aggressive here, but also now, before we cut away, we're going to go to a quick ad block real quick. If
we have 3 tournaments to talk about.
Yeah, we have 3 tournaments to talk about today. So first is the Invitational High Ink 2 coming December 4th. This is going to be the tournament where all of the low ink winners are actually invited to play again. It's going to be an incredible tournament to just kind of see, how much have these teams developed, and this invitational will show off, the victors of low ink at their peak form.
I just want a side note, or else Skit's gonna actually be very salty in chat. Mostly all the winners from low ink, because some of the teams were not invited. And yes, Skit, I know Luau wasn't invited. Stop complaining about it. But yeah, it is a tournament for most of the teams that won low ink. So please don't miss it. December 4th. Put it on your agenda.
Right, and now on to the next tournament. Launch Point Draft Cup 7 is on the horizon, so they're actually going to be inviting all the mid-level to join them in this Draft Cup, meaning that if you're at Division 3 or below, you can now join this tournament, so you might get to see some more familiar faces as well as new ones coming from that mid-level, and you can tune in to see a new look on their stream from Grands, and probably what seems to be an important announcement teased as well. So that's going to be happening December 5th at 5 p.m.
And last but not least, and we are sure that we didn't do this we're doing this in a random order, but I ended up doing nicely with every tournament after the other. December 11th, we have the Squidboard Splat series, a tournament happening at 10 a.m. PST on December 1st on a Saturday. What can you tell? I forgot what it was about.
Squidboard Splat Series is a forum tournament, actually, or ran by the forum people of Squidboards. And this is just kind of an open bracket tournament. Starts with a Swiss stage and goes into late stage brackets. And we have not had an SQSS for a while now, so this is kind of their big return. And everybody's going to want to be there. It's going to be a nice tournament. Just everything needs to be just amazing for this, and that's what's going to be, just a beautiful tournament. So mark it on your calendars. This is going to be one of the best open bracket tournaments we've had in a while, returning with some incredible hosts, and of course our lovely IPL doing a stream for it as well.
Also, I like to say this is a very good tournament in terms of time, because we have 7 p.m. for people that live on Central Europe. So most likely if you're gonna go all the way to the finals, you're gonna most likely just stop playing by midnight, worst case scenario. And people that are on Pacific, you're gonna start at 10 a.m. You're just gonna probably miss lunch, but that's about it. I actually think this is a very good friendly time. I don't think we have anything else to say, so we are gonna go for another quick break, and we're gonna be commentating round 3 semi-finals from the winners bracket.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Low Ink. I am Frosty on the mic with Fern, coming in last minute here. We got Leg taking on my Lag Paradise, your Lag Paradise, a team currently on a Cinderella run. Many teams, many people, including myself, did not imagine this team making this deep of a run into the tournament, much less making Alpha Bracket. But Leg, I think we all expected them to be here. Leg, a very strong team, made Alpha Bracket every single time they sign up here, one of the Div 4 teams in their last Low Ink ever. A lot of pressure on them. But my Lag Paradise, wow, I forget how good they did last Low Ink, but they did not do semifinals of Winners Bracket and Alpha good.
I mean, you commentate Low Ink way more than I do. You make your podcast about Low Ink way more than I actually analyze any of the teams in Low Ink. So I actually trust a lot, but I do think one of the reasons they might have showed up, at least, was just because of the unfortunate Sekisnaga situation. Otherwise, it would have been just like Lag with SNorkEl versus Seed 1. Which, by the way, actually lost to ITAP or just was disqualified because a 2-0 and a 3-0. It seems unlikely.
No, Sekisnaga dropped 2 minutes after the bracket went live. They said they had an emergency, so understandably so. But regardless, showing up is half the battle. My Lag Paradise has shown up and shown out as they come out with a Blobobler here on Splat Zones at Sturgeon Shipyard, and a Hydra, a custom Hydra coming out on the side of Leg. If that Hydra can just get set up on the perch, which it looks like they're going to right now, and they stay comfortable, that Blob's going to have a difficult time dealing with that.
I do agree. Devi would be proud, and also Skeppy was seeing a Blob play on this match. With 96 holding their armor, trying to find a good setup. It seems that both teams actually might just be fighting for control of the mid before applying any specials.
The zone is going to be stalled back out into the favor of My Lag Paradise. Agent Octo getting up into the face of the Hydra. That is not a fight a Hydra wants to take. Being on the low ground right there as Agent Octo falls down again, gets taken down by Neppy, and lead going into favor of My Lag Paradise, but only the K-Pro being the last player left alive. Doesn't look like they're going to hold on to it for too much more longer as the rest of the teams are starting to pop up in for Leg, and the zone is going into their favor.
K-Pro was very well smart, falling back when they saw the Hydra pushing from the one side and the Junior pushing from the left side. But unfortunately, they could not keep the control of the zone, and the Blob not getting a good pick underneath. The bubbles are going to be a pain to deal. On Fight Club, there is at least a lot of ink being shredded all over the place, and the control of the zone is still on the hands of Lag and going to the control of Lag. Booyah Bomb not going to be very well used from the K-Pro, but at the end of the day, at least they managed to take back control.
A good opening minute and a half for both teams. No team in a complete comfortable situation just yet, as you would assume My Lag Paradise has a situation get a lockout. They immediately lose 2 players. Does cancel that special, that burst bomb rush though, on the right side. So yeah, both teams having a lot of difficulty getting established, and that Hydra getting a nice splat there, but none of the rest of the players for Leg in a position to where they can kind of capitalize off of this. However, they do have man advantage, they have armor to work with right now, so they can make a move somewhere close here. It just looks like My Lag Paradise is starting to put some critical points on the board.
Oh, that Junior play from Lag is indeed very well skilled on the bubble combo. I saw the bubble being placed on the first part of the zone and then decided to throw a torpedo on the left side, applying a lot of pressure, and that gave them the control of the zone very fast. But unfortunately for the Hydra, they will have to fall back, or else they're going to be spotted by the missiles from their teammates, and having to fight the 2 people on their point gets the very important pick, giving them even more time to control the zone and applying more and more points to the scoreboard. It seems that it could actually get the lead here.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about My Lag Paradise, they've been dominating with this Blob, and that's something Leg really needed to address. The Hydra getting the nice splat there on the Blob, and the Blob goes down yet again to the Soda Slosher, so they lose a lot of painting and splatting power. It looks like they're getting from that Blob, and this could be a KO situation for Lag, as they are in the right position to create this lockout. 2-1, game 1 going to Leg. over my lag paradise. And the key right there was finally getting established control on that Bob Obbler that seemed to be a little bit too comfortable over the course of that set.
Not to mention that I think at the end of when we were pleasing the play with the bubbles and then everything else, what I think I saw mostly was the fact that the players from my lag paradise were maybe desync, and that just enabled a 2v4 happening twice, and not waiting for the teammates to respawn with the Hydra being, well, they fell in the fight club and then went back to up, but that cost them a little bit of time. But that's how I feel that at the end of the match, that's how lag managed to win over lag.
You know, lag and leg. Leg played Legato as well, leading up to this one. So we got a lot of little sound teams making deep runs into this tournament here. My lag paradise. So I did some quick research on who these guys were last month, or actually the last time they played was August. They went 2-4 in Group A and didn't even qualify for Gamma Bracket.
Oof.
Now, that was 3 months ago. There was no September low ink. There wasn't October. They didn't play in it. So they've had 3 months to kind of improve their game since then. Obviously making it to winners semifinals right now. Obviously going up against a tough team. But they had their moments there in that last game. This isn't a team they can't beat. Especially when you look at what they've done so far in this tournament, not just today, but obviously yesterday. I believe going 5-1 in the All-Swiss group that we had yesterday. My Lag Paradise. No, they went 4-2, but they had the highest opponent win percentage of any team to go 4-2. So they had a really tough schedule. Looks like the second toughest schedule coming out of here as we just wait for the counter pick. It looks like they are going to go with tower control map of some sort. Tower control on Manta TC. Manta Maria. Okay, so I don't know. Can you run Blob back here? I think the Hydra leg is going to be a big problem here.
So most likely I'm still going to remember this when I saw a ballpoint. The Hydra and the Splat leagues in general will be much better with these comps that we're seeing, mostly because they don't have anything to contest the range. The problem is that I would suggest... Actually, why am I talking to you about Hydra, Popgun? You are the one that plays Hydra! Wait a minute! Wait a minute!
Look, that doesn't mean I'm the port authority on all things Hydra related. I mean, Devy's going to be commentating later, too. You're a fellow anchor player, but still, regardless... There's something here. This is My Lag Paradise making this pick. So why? I guess we got to see what comp they're going to come out here with. But again, I feel like if you know it's likely that at least some sort of splatling is going to be used on the opposite side from leg, and you saw how effective that blob was the last game. I would assume they're going to come off blob here, and we'll get a look at that. Just a second. Again, this is the best of 5 semifinal set. Leg up 1-0. My Lag Paradise with the counter pick. And going with the ballpoint. Yeah, I was about to say, something had to change there. Ballpoint with beacons on this map and a whole heck of a lot of run speed to go with it. Smart choice.
Nice. Also putting a beacon on base. Great for jumping out.
Jump back to spawn. All right. Whatever.
No, there's a beacon on spawn. That's it.
I know. I saw that.
So you were talking about the ballpoint. All I say is that if the ballpoint is riding to break the second checkpoint, I would say would be very unwise, since you can just put it on the top of bunker. By having that control and using a range makes it easier to push in and break second checkpoints. That's all I would say. Yeah,
you don't want either Splatling riding the tower. Maybe that first checkpoint, but especially not that second one. You want to get up on their enemy bunker wall, which it looks like is what My Lag Paradise is trying to do right now. But a whole host of bubbles the size of Jupiter getting thrown at the bunker area there. That's going to clear it out and save this first checkpoint. It looks like one more player left behind. can they find a way to stay alive? I think that's the Kenta machine. Does take down a couple of players, and no, they do not find a way to take care of Paz, who cleans up everybody, and that's going to be a wipe, and that's going to allow for time for, look at the ballpoint immediately getting into that position they need to be. The second checkpoint's in danger.
Indeed, and also I'm just gonna add, I was expecting the slushing machine to use that splashdown at any point, proving myself that they are, like, splashdown is not that easy of a panic button to control. Like, most people would already have wasted that, and given the opportunity that they are having right here, second checkpoint is being starting to break right here with hardly any pressure from but hardly anyone on tower to get that checkpoint. Just a lot of aggression from the slushing machine and everyone else.
Yeah, that was weird. I guess they just threw a lot of specials out there. There was something there that Malag Paradise just didn't feel comfortable even sniffing their own tower. They got it to that second checkpoint and then just abandoned ship, and ultimately abandoning this push here. A trade there, that's going to work out into the favor of Leg, because they just need the tower to get back in the mid. But Pause, the player, you said no splashdowns. Not going to land a splashdown now. That one got canceled. You know, at this stage of the competitive Splatoon, low level does a very good job of canceling those fast splashdowns, so you got to be really smart with it. I think holding onto those splashdowns in a lot of situations has kind of worked out into their favor, as it looks like this first checkpoint will fall. April trying to get established up top there, TNT making it very difficult.
But with Snorky has been done a great job trying to get their points on now with just a slushing machine left alive. Suction Move almost managed to get the pick on the tower, but with two people on the tower, it managed to break the second patrol easy. It's just a K-Pro on the right side of tower, just leaving left side of spawn. The last checkpoint of the game will most likely also be broken right here with all the players in such a well position from Lag. It seems they're just gonna go down a dominoes effect and
just a little bit too much of a little bit too much staggering going on there in that final push. At some point, Malag Paradise just has to be like, all right, we need to cut our losses. We're going to lose that second checkpoint. Let's regroup, go 4v4, and try to hold this third one. Instead, it seems like they committed a little too much to trying to hold on to the lead. Not a lot of specials getting played. 4 missiles coming out, but other than that, nothing else. So they didn't really was able to kind of get established, build up some specials to work with to slow down those pushes. But a great response by Leg. It looked really scary there. It looked like they were going to lose that second checkpoint for sure. But they slowed down. They built up the specials, and they went in with that. That was really kind of the difference there. The defense that Leg was able to pull out versus the defense that Malag Paradise did not use.
And not to mention, I would say that the beginning of the end for Lag was when the Hydra managed to take the pick on the slushing machine. I debate if the slushing machine even knew the Hydra was actually shocking behind that post, because after that the slushing machine could barely get control or even get close to stopping the tower. You had to fight someone that was fighting underneath the region of the Clan Blitz basket on Manta. So at the end, what happened was Lag managed to just completely destabilize Lag's defenses and just swim with the tower until the goal.
Now at critical game 3, and it looks like the counterpick's already in, wasting no time with this one. Clan Blitz at Art Academy, and you know, we've seen a lot of diversity coming out on the comps from the side of Malag Paradise. I like the pick of the ballpoint. Again, it just didn't seem like they were able to get beacons into the right place, or you saw them trying to get into the positions they needed to be. Just didn't have a lot of specials to work with to keep them safe and established in a lot of spots. So they have a lot of different comps that they can work with here to try to make this game fall into their favor. And we'll see what they come out with specifically and see why they chose this map over the others. Again, they have to win this one if they want to find a way to move on.
That's true. They need to take this all the way to game 5. They need to reverse sweep this semifinals winners. I would say the reason why they probably are thinking this is a good counter pick is just because with the Clan Blitz being a slower paced game, they can try some sneaky tactics on Inkblot, since you can technically push from 3 different sides, either from elbow, from the uninkable ramp, or straight forward. So if they manage to coordinate this, I would say just winning this match just shows how well this team deserves to be considered a future for Alpha brackets, and then one day win low ink.
For Leg, this is their last opportunity. The Div 4 team, it's win it or never play again. Looking to punch their ticket into winter finals here, as we do see the ballpoint coming back out on the side of My Lag Paradise. A Nautilus coming out on the side of Leg. And actually, April coming off of the... I thought April was the one on Nautilus, but no, that was the Hydra player switching to Junior. So losing their Hydra, going with something a little bit more faster, trying to match the mode in Slam Blitz. Obviously, I guess just wanting a little bit more speed than what the Hydra can give you in a mode like this.
I mean, that is true, and even the rain can also be a much more of a tool for pressure. Putting the Tri-Slosher on the armor also makes it a very great choice. The rain can still be a pain, especially if you put a little bit of Object Shredder for dealing with the enemy's armor on the other side.
Jet being built up here, one player going down on My Lag Paradise as the ballpoint player's forced to kind of stuck into this awkward spot here, guarding the right ramp. Missiles are going to force them to back up just a little bit as one more player goes down. No splats so far being landed from the side of My Lag Paradise in the first minute. It's been all Leg up to this point. You see them swarm into enemy base. The Cloud coming in there trying to provide a little bit of chip damage. Just 3 players from Leg go down. I believe that splashdown finally connected from Pause, and now all of a sudden, even though the first points go to Leg, My Lag Paradise in a great position here to return fire.
Pressuring Nappy with the Rapid does seem to have worked a little bit, but because their teammate had just respawned, following back from the Tri-Slosher was actually a good play. Not a lot of specials aggression coming from My Lag Paradise, just the armor, but at the same time, is it worth it with the ball going down? It seems that they just have to fall back to a safe position, and with the K-Shot holding the ball, this is not going to be good since you cannot be aggressive and still hold a power clam that's just saying, shoot me, shoot me.
Yeah, they do have a ballpoint they could kind of toss that clam back to if they want to find a way to be a little bit more aggressive with their K-Shot. And yeah, you see them, they're just kind of stuck on that right flat. There's nowhere really for them to go, and it's not like they're hidden over there. Pause trying to throw some bombs back there, trying to back up Leg a little bit to give them some more room to work with. But here comes a flanking Nautilus, takes down 3 players, and now Pause, being the last player left alive, isn't going to survive that Inkjet, and now Leg is going to get a whole lot more points than what they did in their first go-around. Already below 40 points, grabbing some more clams. Now the rest of the players from My Lag Paradise starting to jump in, getting a nice double, getting a triple. The Crappy Blaster being the last one left alive, just finding a way to stay alive. And that's actually kind of critical until they actually get taken down at their own plat. Here's a spot. My Lag Paradise can quickly respond right here if they choose to do so, but it looks like Leg has jumped back in at the right time, starting to throw some bombs, and just kind of stop this counter push. My Lag Paradise could bust out here, but what a response by Leg. Very quick movement there off of that flank.
You either become a diamond or you crack. With now finally being able to score a little bit of more points, this is looking very interesting.
The lead instantly going back into the favor of My Lag Paradise, and one more player trying to come up from the steps here. You look, they're trying to get some more points off of this. It's going to close up, but wow, what a response. It looked like Leg had responded back in the right amount of time to shut something down, but I guess they just got the splats at the right time. This My Lag Paradise tying up this game, essentially.
With this tie, I would just hope that My Lag Paradise don't, please keep pushing still. You technically don't have such a safe lead, but at the same time, I just don't want the game to be stale at this point. Not because I don't believe in it, just because I actually want to see My Lag Paradise become diamonds.
2 more players going down on the side of Leg. Pause, who's been a real pain in the side of Leg throughout this whole set, especially when they can find a way to land some flanks here, trying to get something established, doing a good job of pinning Leg back into their own base. This is not where you want to be when you're down. Again, you're only down by 1 point. You don't have a lot of penalty points you got to chew through, but still, Leg wants to be able to push up. They want to capture control of mid. The ballpoint player goes down on My Lag Paradise. Neppy working around this left side, but 2 more players on Leg start to go down, and everybody is aware of where this baller is. Just use the baller to escape. TNT, there's no way they can survive that explosion there. But it looks like Leg is able to establish control in mid here, and that's what they need with 25 seconds left to go.
Rip the Tri-Slosher trying to stay alive. I didn't see a baller coming in from behind, but at the same time I just see that my Leg Paradise has been able to secure at least this win, or am I going to be jinxed again at what happened on the previous set with more points going from the other team?
TNT, you said they needed to keep up the aggression. This is the right time to do it right here. We're going into overtime. I think, yeah, they do have a power clam this Leg, but oh, this aggression might work out against them here as now Leg's starting to push up here. They've gathered the clams. They got a power clam at the step. TNT shuts it down. They still got one more power clam to work with, but time and overtime is running out. April's looking for something to happen. Somebody runs up the steps and they do pop the basket and they lose their life in the process. Neffy with the only player left with 3 clams, and that is going to be a wipe. My Lag Paradise hangs on barely and keeps this set going at least one more game.
I would like to congratulate on the ballpoint on getting that marvelous pick with the short range from the ballpoint, and Nappy for at least managed to get 1 pick, trying to score just 1, 2, 4 clams. All they needed was 4 clams to take the victory at the end, but at the end, great plays from both teams overall, very well coordinated, especially overall. I feel that this team has proven to be alpha low wing material for sure.
Yeah, I like the adjustment Leg made, dropping the Hydra, going to something a little bit quicker with more paint and more speed with the Junior that they added into their comp. But ultimately, My Lag Paradise able to hold it right when they needed to. They had the players in the right position to shut down all the pushes they needed outside of that one push. I think each team only got one actual legit push the entire game. Like, there was a couple of pushes that Leg was able to bust out, but they only just popped the basket and that's it. That's kind of credit to My Lag Paradise getting into the right position, especially in there. TNT on that Tri-Slosher just locking down that steps area, and it looked like Leg was trying to, like, bottlenecking, trying to force themselves through that step area. As long as TNT was there with the Tri-Slosher, nothing was going to happen. But now, this is the problem with counter picks. When you lose the first 2 games, you have to win these last 2 on the best maps that Leg has to offer. They can't go to tower control. They can't go to splat zones because they've already won those 2 modes. So that does kind of limit their options a little bit. They can only go to Clam Blitz or Rainmaker. But with 2 modes that they can work with here, they at least have a little bit of flexibility, but they are nerfed a little bit, considering they only got 2 modes to go with. And it looks like they're going to go with Rainmaker at Humpback Pump Track.
Well, I would say it's a surprise seeing the first Rainmaker map being Humpback, and also showing just now we already had so many zones match, and I have to say I still like Rainmaker as a general, but it is gonna be very risky to run Rainmaker on the game 5, so I would say if we were going to at least play Rainmaker, play on game 4. Humpback Pump Track, neither of the players were using Jet Scorchers, so we might not see a Stingray in play, which is always a good thing for the ice. It doesn't hurt that much. We also didn't see much of 52 gals as well, so it is even less meta of a comp, even more interesting because you can run most of the wild phase. I still want to see a low wing team or a low div team pop up the Silver Arrow Spray and win with it in Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track. If you know, you know why.
There's no, hey, Ant's not in this one, okay? That's a Silver Arrow Spray in the hands of that player is a little bit different than everybody else, let's be fair. With Leg, I think okay, so again, we said it's either Rainmaker or Clam Blitz they could pick at this point. I think with Clam Blitz, they feel like they can't use Hydra or an Anchor. And April didn't seem crazy effective as they were when they were using Hydra in that last game. So I feel like they might go back to an Anchor position. It might not be Hydra, but I think we're going to see the Anchor position return, maybe with that C-Jet you were referencing. I guess, I wonder if we're going to see the Blob on the other side. Blob does a good job of popping the Rainmaker. No, they're going to stick down with that ballpoint. And we do see the Hydra coming back out. So I think that's the reason why they wanted to go with Rainmaker over Clam Blitz in this one. They just want to be able to get that Hydra back out and try to abuse the range that April's been using, has been very effective with so far in this set.
Yeah, with 3 Splatlings already on this match, Hydra managed to get the first pick of the game, first ink, because I cannot say the word with B, getting the position off, trying to get a little bit more armor, position a little bit of Ink Mice for defense in case the Rainmaker gets pushed. It gets a pick, but at the same time it doesn't happen much. Nothing changed after that. It's just positioning and delay a little bit of specials from both teams.
Yeah, you know, you kind of alluded to you don't want to do Rainmaker in Game 5. It looks like neither team wants to do Rainmaker in Game 4 either. Look how passive both teams are playing. Now Leg is starting to say, okay, we got Inkjet. Let's try to work around this right elbow area here, pick up the Rainmaker. We've got a little bit of a path to go with, but no splats to follow up with just yet. However, if they get a wipe, this game is instantly over, and they see a path opening anyways without getting any splats. Instead, it's 2 players on Leg who go down. T being the last player left alive on that Nautilus, I don't think they're going to be able to get anything done unless, yeah, TNT able to get that splat there. But still, without getting a single pick, Leg just went for it and got the 37 remaining. Okay.
Very well, for sure. They actually want to take to Game 5, and with Clamblitz, it might actually... sorry. They actually don't want to go to Game 5 here. Nappy really wants to secure this lead by just throwing bombs. You can see that they're not even dropping at this point, even though there's a lot of stuff they can actually get for armor. Double armor, Inkjet, and missiles is going to be very hard to push. Nappy managing to avoid those missiles and almost splatting their friend Hydra in the process.
You know, the missile tango is something we're all getting very good at nowadays. All the missiles that are being used in the current meta. Ballpoint working around this right side. There is a path here for My Lag Paradise. They do have a little bit of an escort, but the Rainmaker gets taken down from behind. 2 players left alive. That TNT might just explode right here. No, instead it's going to survive and go back to mid. Rainmaker is going to reset as they drop down the plat there. But still, as we take a look back at the overhead, game kind of stalled out here. We've reached a halfway point. You know, lead technically in the side of Leg, but you know, at this point it's anyone's ball game.
I honestly consider only a safe play on Humpback if you get to at least the 20 points mark around the zipline, because you need to pass that point where people can just drop on the Rainmaker and get like a trade, and that's what it seems that if Lag managed to win over here, avoiding those missiles, they might have been a little bit too worried. They managed to get the Splatter Shot Pro. They also managed to take the K shot. It is a little bit of a wall of bombs. Another one goes down from Lag, and it's just 2 people remaining. The jump might not be actually be that helpful. If TNT manages to avoid, it avoids it. There's 3 people surviving a lot of bomb rushes at this point.
My Lag Paradise is really struggling to get any kind of splats here at all. Look, they've held this Rainmaker. This Rainmaker might be close to exploding on its own. Yeah, 20 ticks remaining. They finally take down the Nautilus player, but April being back here, they don't have a way to deal with this range. This Hydra's just sitting here saying, bring it. You have to come closer to us. It's not the other way around. They're going to explode. That Rainmaker's just, yeah, look, I can't believe that. They grabbed the Rainmaker and just sat there for a minute. They don't have an answer for the Hydra just sitting there.
Who was the one that picked the Rainmaker? The ballpoint or the sloshing machine?
That was the pause. That was the machine.
Oh, no.
It held it there for a minute. Didn't do anything.
No, the slushing machine was the only player that could have made a difference with this comp. But just, it's a wipe!
That's it.
It's a wipe. That's game over. That's game over. Oh, well, maybe not, but...
Well, maybe not game over, but still, if they don't figure out a way, like, they don't know what they want to do offensively, and now 3 remaining, yeah, like, My Lag Paradise needs a plan now for how they're going to deal with this.
No, but returning what I was saying, it's just that the slushing machine needed to be the one pressuring the Hydra from underneath the draw, and because that's the only way that weapon can do anything to a point that can actually enable a push, because they don't have Inkjet, they only have Missile and Booyah Bomb, and they had no special for that push once they started. With 13 seconds remaining on the clock, this is not going to go overtime, and the moment that the clock hits 0 or just the Rainmaker resets, it's game over, CG's.
Smart counter picks here from Leg. going to Rainmaker at Humpback, and again, they did that because they wanted to bring that Hydra back over the junior they were using. And what happened? They just camped the Hydra at the pedestal, and there was nothing. My Like Paradise just didn't have an answer for that. I mean, when you grab the Rainmaker and you just stand in the elbow for a full minute, I mean, you're defeated at that point. So a good learning point for My Lag Paradise, again, coming in as the less experienced alpha team. Their tournament run isn't over yet, but they'll VOD review, they'll look back at that one, and they'll come up with a game plan then, but it's very clear that Leg was the more experienced team in that match, and it really showed right there, and that's why they're moving on to winter finals.
Winter finals already, everyone, who is also excited as I am, but unfortunately this is gonna be the end for me. Popgun, are you commentating the winners finals with Devi, or is it someone else?
Nope, it's me and Devi the rest of the way here. Again, I am Frosty coming in.
Sorry, Frosty.
Still.
It was weird. You sounded more bald or something.
Fern, this is why I've never commentating with you unless it's an emergency situation. I just want to put that on the record right now. That was hurtful. I've never had a bald joke made at me before, and I'm hurted. I'm disappointed.
You want to know something, Popgun? I'm gonna be bald. All my grandfathers are bald. It's on the family. Don't worry, I'll be joining their team soon.
That's the problem, is none of my grandfathers are bald. But so that doesn't comfort me at all. Fern, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter, on Discord, that's Superfern013. Popgun, I'm gonna hug you the next time I see you on a LAN. I do hope that you can ever forgive me for doing all the ball jokes I have ever done to you, because it wasn't the first one, and it's probably not going to be the last.
And the next time I see you at a LAN, I'm not going to hide when you sneak food illegally into the venue. I'm going to call you out.
Fair enough.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Winter Finals here with Low Ink on IPL.
Hello, Squid Gamers, and welcome to Winners Finals Alpha Bracket of Low Inc. I am Devi, joined by Popgun, and now we are seeing Leg versus Guerrilla Tactics.
And it's Game 1 Splat Zones Wahoo World. This is the... you and I have commentated before, I want to say like last year at some point.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But I think we're both known when we actually play the game for Hydra, and
right? It's Hydra takeover right now.
Lucky for us, we got Splat Zones at Wahoo World, like Hydra Playground, and we got Leg on stream here. Now the team they're going up against, Guerrilla Tactics. We got a little bit of Triggerfish supremacy here. Got a little bit of University of California, San Diego esports here, making up this pickup team. It is the year of the pickups here. And we got another one in Winners Finals, taking on the traditional Alpha Bracket powerhouse in Leg. Both teams coming into this one undefeated so far today. I don't know if these teams have played earlier on Saturday. I'll look that up real quick, but... Leg, definitely one of the more... this map, from what we've seen earlier, just the fact that they have a Hydra here, that's going to be a huge issue for... I want to keep calling them Triggerfish.
Guerrilla Tactics.
Guerrilla Tactics.
Yeah, the Hydra is definitely very controlling here, but I have seen, like, if Guerrilla Tactics runs an all-aggro comp, and I'm not too sure if they have an anchor, I only recognize one of the names on the roster, since I played with them in the past. But if they come out with an all-aggro comp, they do know how to counter it. Explo and a blob. Okay. Explo can control that if they get the ledges down well, but they have to get through the bucket and the bubbles from the junior first.
What are we looking at here? Are you allowed to run an Explosh and a blob together? I feel like I've never seen that happen before. The blob instantly going down, April getting established on that zone, taking care of the Explosh.
It just goes down immediately, because the biggest thing is like the blob and the Explo have to play back, right? And the Hydra can pick that, because now they have to really rely on their squelchers and their splash to make something happen. But it's really poke orientated, but they can't get the poke off if they can't get rid of the other two slaying weapons from the other team.
Now Mofugami is as you're about to see, the god of fluff, is a really strong player in their own right. But every time, Mofugami keeps seeming to be the last player left alive. It seems like everybody else is getting splatted, and there's not really much VDS can do 1v4 right there. Missiles coming out on the side of Leg, and now Suction Bomb Rush and Baller is going to give control of zone to Guerrilla Tactics here. The problem is, they're going to really struggle getting the splats they need to create a lockout. Like you said, without that splash being active, that splash keeps getting splatted.
The splash they're really key for moving in, or unless if the dualies come around and do a wild flank, but from what we've seen so far, that's not happening, so they really are relying on this splash to get work done here.
QB trying to put down a lot of paint gets taken down themselves as Kai able to get established here. Leg on their second lockout opportunity. Got a lot of points in their first opening push here. Specials need to be built up. They did a good job. Guerrilla Tactics did a good job building up specials and capping zone with it. Starting with that suction bomb rush, followed up with the baller, but the suction bomb rush from the splash is taken down very quickly. Leg responds, and here goes 2 more players going down. Vapor being stuck in a very awkward situation, gets splatted themselves. Leg looking like they're about to take this one.
They did the same thing kind of twice, and the Hydra in both situations was literally waiting for them there on the right. So then as soon as they come in, they get picked off from the side, and that's happened twice now on when Guerrilla Tactics have tried to come back and reclaim the zone.
Game 1 going to Leg, and you know, we're not going to sit here and just praise Hydra all day long, but on a map like that, against a comp like that, I would be surprised if Leg didn't win that one. And this is why we have counter picks here in Low Wing. Because Guerrilla Tactics going to need to come up with something to force April off of that Hydra. I don't think the Hydra died that entire time.
Yeah, I didn't quite see if they did or didn't, but from the unique comp we just saw from Guerrilla Tactics, like, I have seen Explo and Blob work together before. Not in particular on this map. I do see Explos more. And they're usually like the glass, the ledge control. But yeah, having them both is tougher to do on that map. But I think on another Spot Zones map, like maybe like say like Anchovy, it would be more powerful.
Now we're just I guess it's also worth pointing out that Guerrilla Tactics has been subbing players out throughout the course of the day. Which is a good thing in counter picks if you want to go with what your best lineup for a specific map and mode is. That kind of works out to have those situations going for you. So it looks like DRF is coming in. I forget who went out. Oh, QB went out. Who was using Blob last time, and they're opting to go with tower control at Manta Maria. Now Leg won this counter pick that was used against them in the last round that was on stream. So Leg probably feel like, okay, we're more than happy to go here. But DRF coming in, another one of these UCSD esports players, and someone who commentated yesterday of Low Ink and has commentated Grand Finals before.
Yep. It's an interesting choice because unless if Guerrilla Tactics is also like this, if this is a comfort pick, like they have a plan, great. But now it's like I think Leg might be a lot more comfortable, confident on this, and they just got to execute what they did before. So this counter pick actually might be a challenge here for Guerrilla Tactics. So it kind of surprises me that this is what the counter pick is.
It just kind of depends. If Mofugami can start popping off, get some missiles, and everybody can work with those missiles that they got there, I think they'll be fine. Again, on paper, this Guerrilla Tactics team's really strong. They, I guess I haven't really... It's interesting, when you're focused on stream, you don't really pay attention to anything else in the tournament. Guerrilla Tactics eliminated Persistence, or at least knocked Persistence down into the losers bracket.
It went to a game 5, so it was like, oh wow.
They 3-0'd, literally feeding. So Guerrilla Tactics, honestly, this is just the third time they've made a counter pick all day long. And it looks like they're coming out with the remix there. Obviously a good choice. Double Booyah Bomb in general. DRF coming out with the Tri-Slosher with armor. So they got a lot of specials that can force Leg off the tower with those missiles and Booyah Bomb.
Yep, they've got the double booyah, a lot of displacement here, so they have a lot of ways to control with the anchor. So now that we see that the plan that Guerrilla Tactics has here, it makes a lot more sense as to why that this is a counter pick. April getting stuck on the bottom here and picked off. Quick 3 down.
Yeah, April must have thought that they were in pushing mode. That's the only reason you would drop down right there with an weapon like the Hydra. But now this first checkpoint looks like it should fall unless Neppy has anything to say about it. But that is Golden Ball working around that backside, trying to get flanked, gets taken down themselves. DRF is going to die on this tower, but the Booyah Bomb might slow things down a little bit more. I feel like this push has to end, and it does, but still, they cleared the first checkpoint at least.
Yeah, a lot of good pressure there. They got the initial wipe. They took the advantage there, and the Slosher at least managing to stop the push there. Oh, nice trade here, getting the one out of the way. But it's still 2 down there on. Oh, it's Leg's turn. Oh, look at this flank. There's a flank.
I think they recognize this as well, but if you can get it like one splat or at least draw, okay, abandoning ship right there, and wisely so. One player DRF going down on the defensive side. You don't want to be your last player defense stuck behind everyone. First checkpoint falling when Neppy going down on the side of Leg. Kai trying to get up into this high point position here, gets a splat, gets 2. Or actually, no, it looks like that was just a trade, but still lead going into the favor of Leg. And they do have the bodies to keep this push going if they can get a few splats to follow it up with.
Got the remix in the way as they tried to booyah, but April quickly there to just shoot it down before it gets up any higher. Plus another teammate, so yeah, they definitely got the players here. We see, oh, Mofugami coming in, trying to get another pick here. Does unfortunately fail in doing so, but Leg's still in a pretty prime position.
Yeah, as long as they're in that bunker, there's going to be cookies and juice. Popping bubbles as well to Kinsa Jr. on tower. They clear that checkpoint, and this is not what you want to see if you are Guerrilla Tactics. You do not want to see the enemy Hydra getting comfortable up top here, just laying down crossfire across the enemy base. This third checkpoint is going to fall, and Leg keeps wondering why people counterpick this map against them. They don't seem to mind too much, as they should find a way to get a knockout. Bubbles coming out here again. And once again, Leg wins game 2 on tower control at Manta, going into game 3. Complete control of the set.
There's a couple moments there. That flank that we saw earlier by Mofugami, at the time where that flank was being executed, Guerrilla Tactics was 2 down. So it's like, all right, you got the flank off, but unfortunately, even if you succeed in this, your team isn't there to follow up on it. So it just had to be abandoned in general. And afterwards, just when Leg was pushing there, Guerrilla Tactics had a pretty hard stagger going on there. They weren't really keeping distance there, trying to get special. You just saw a couple members charge in to try to stop it. It just kind of rushed.
And I do just want to point out, we did just get a raid from Mizuno, which would lead me to believe that ITAP's run in Loser's Bracket has unfortunately come to an end. Quick shout out, ITAP being one of the teams that has played in Low Ink for such a long time, a team that has grown up through this wonderful tournament of ours. Sad to see them go so soon, but still, hats off to ITAP. We enjoyed you when you were here, and congratulations to Snowfall for beating them. Now, game 3, Guerrilla Tactics. The board is theirs. It looks like they've made the sub that they wanted to make. QB coming back in for DRF, and they're going to live. They're going to die on the Art Academy Splat Zones, the classic map and mode here. I wonder if the thought is to drop the Tri-Slosher and bring in Blob yet again here.
That was kind of thinking if they're going to maybe try to do the same thing as last time, because the Blob can get more control here since there's more cover, and move up a bit more, while the X-Blow kind of covers their back. So if they bring this out, it would definitely work out better in their favor, but they still have to watch out from the cover fire from above on Leg's side.
And again, a reverse sweep needed to be done here. Leg looking really strong so far in this Sunday edition of Alpha Bracket here. Win this game, they will be moving on to Grand Finals and a chance to win this whole tournament in the month of November. Their Leg just being the last players to ready up. Everyone on the side of Guerrilla Tactics readied up very quickly, which makes me think this is the best map and mode that they possibly have. They have a game plan for it. This was their emergency situation map. And now Leg, the question is, last time they were here on Clan Blitz, they dropped the Hydra and went with the Junior. I don't think that'll be the case this time around, as we see the game start off. There's the Hydra yet again. Kinsa Jr. is being stuck with as well. They're willing to die with this Explode Blob comp against the Hydra, though.
They're I think they're confident in this. It's like they have a set for it. It's just, can they get it off against Leg's pressure? And they already got a quick cap on zone, and Explo is already on top mid.
As long as that Explo stays up there, they can apply a lot of pressure. The problem is they got a lot of specials that'll force that Explo off. They got Burst Bomb Rush, they got bubbles, missiles. But two more players going down on the side of Guerrilla Tactics. T with some armor to work with here from this Kensa Jr. is going to put a lot of pain on this zone. It's going to take Mofugami on in a 1v1 fight with Vapor backing up around that right side. Instead, Mofugami didn't feel comfortable fighting that Junior right there. Backs off and gives control of zone to Leg.
I think I believe the Explo wasn't too far from Mofugami, but decided to stay away. So it could have been a 2v1 fight, but unfortunately it was a 1v1. But I think Mofugami made the right choice there. Just didn't have the right the right height or the right angles, and just decided to back away.
Lead going into the favor of Leg as they have no penalty points, and they are starting to threaten to get a KO, getting the lockout situation. Specials built up. Neppy going down on that Soda Slosher is pretty big, and now the missiles get fired but gets taken down. 3 players going down here. So Guerrilla Tactics able to stall the zone and keep the KO from happening. Golden Ball starting to push up here, cleaning off the last player. And getting established into the base. How long can Golden Ball stay around here?
Goodness!
Causing a lot of issues for Leg.
This is what we didn't see on the Wahoo Splat Zones game. The Splash wasn't able to get in and make anything happen. In this case, it's different. We're seeing the Splash able to make things happen and play aggro and lock out a few players on Leg's side in their own base. So now they can just count down for points. However, they do go down. They do go 2 down here, so they might lose the zone.
But those bubbles aren't going to do just enough.
Yeah.
Great response to take care of the bubble on the left side. They will ultimately lose the zone, but they hold on to it long enough to get lead. But now they're starting to get cleaned up right here. A lot of penalty points Leg has to get through. There's a chance here for Guerrilla Tactics to start building up some specials and be patient here. I would even be comfortable surrendering lead if it just meant that you could come in and get this pushed out the right way. You just don't want to get KO'd right here. A lot of special, a lot of pressure getting taken down. Neppy, yet again, being the first player getting taken down on these pushes, but the X-Wash goes down as well. A lot of purple in that zone, and it's enough to flip back into Guerrilla Tactics' favor.
This poke is starting to show what it can do on this map, and like you said, with the right time that they can come back and get in this. Here's the flank by Mofugami. Great pick getting April out of there. They got the jump. That's 3 down for Leg. Mofugami's in a strong point here, but unfortunately members go down on the zone. Just needs to take it back. Does have it back. Just keeping an eye on this bucket that's right below them. Good job by Neppy getting that pick.
Now, yeah. Keep an eye on them. Yeah, they're right in front of your face and able to get the splat anyways. Taking care of Mofugami. Mofugami on that VDS seems to be the real threat here from this Guerrilla Tactics team. It seems like when Mofugami goes, the rest of Guerrilla Tactics can follow up with it as well and start putting pain on that zone. So Leg needs to find a way to kind of shut that down if they want to find a way to get this sweep right here. T backing off, not wanting to take a fight against an armored in-zap Vapor, using Baller just to kind of stay alive. Can they cap zone with it? No. Neppy being in a good spot to kind of clean up, and now the zone back into the favor of Leg, and they don't have as many penalty points as they did the last time they got control of zone, and Mofugami just now spawning back in. Guerrilla Tactics needs to play this one smart.
They really do. This is the do or die moment right here. Like there's 45 seconds left on the clock. Lead is about to be retaken if they don't neutralize zone here. They do neutralize it with a 1-point difference. And look at that. They played their cards right and managed to stop that lead from being taken with 30 seconds left in this game.
You know, I question if Leg was a little bit too passive right there. Their mindset was probably, let's wait for them to come to us and let them make the mistake, instead of trying to put the pressure and force them into the mistake. They kind of stayed back right there, and that allowed Guerrilla Tactics the opportunity they needed to get back control of things here, and they might get a KO before the timer comes out. Here comes Armor, here comes the specials. Mofugami does go down. Can they completely flip zone into their favor before time runs out? And they cannot.
Oh, the bubbles couldn't get popped.
It wasn't easy, but Guerrilla Tactics keeps the set going a little bit longer.
And that was a map where we saw the Blob and Explo applying that pressure. Like, even at the beginning, the Explo, like, they took zone right away. It was a quick start for Guerrilla Tactics. They got zone right away. The Explo was on top, and it was already pressuring 3 members of Leg on their plat, and just getting poke damage and making it hard for them to come back in at the start of that game. So they definitely had the opening they wanted this time around.
You know, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I thought that that the counter picks Guerrilla Tactics have been using were more so what is our strengths, instead of thinking about, well, wait, could this possibly be a strength of the other team as well? Like, they weren't thinking about how can we nerf Leg and help us out at the same time. That win they got was not easy at all. It was a very difficult win that they were able to clutch out there. And now you're in a situation where Leg gets controlled the next 2 counter picks. This seems like deja vu of the last set. They can only go to Rainmaker. They can only go to Clam Blitz. I think they're going to stick with Rainmaker here in game 4. It might not be Humpback, just because of all the sloshers that they've that Guerrilla Tactics is able to use, with the Blob, with the X-Splosh, with the Tri-Slosher, and it looks like they're just kind of waiting. And yeah, they're going right back there anyways. All right, fair enough. But one of the players needed to leave, and they didn't in time, so we might have to reset the lobby here. But we are going at Rainmaker at Humpback Pump Track.
Yeah, we saw how strong Leg was here. The Hydra got the initial picks, but the way the Hydra got the initial picks was the other team kind of just ran to it at the beginning. And we saw how Leg can just control one side if nothing else is contesting where the Hydra is, and they're bombing out. They have a bomb wall, they have a Hydra. Hopefully Guerrilla Tactics has an answer to when they're pushing.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because since the last set Guerrilla Tactics played and went to a game 5, they probably weren't paying attention to stream, so they probably don't know like the opening that Leg is going to use, or so like nothing was really revealed to Guerrilla Tactics unless during the stall right here they're watching the VOD back of the stream to kind of figure out what's going to happen here. But yeah, this is this makes me kind of question if, and we'll cross this bridge if we get there, but if Guerrilla Tactics wins this game, then you're going to have a lot of questions that Leg is going to have to try to figure out right here. Would they want to double down and go Rainmaker again? Because I think they really do not want to do Clam Blitz at all. But you see the players coming back in here and QB coming back in. So a little bit of a delay because Guerrilla Tactics has been subbing out players left and right, and they had everyone in the lobby as they were waiting for the counter pick. It looks like DB is staying in, DRF is going back out. I don't think they're going to run the X-Splosh Blob comp here again. And correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like DB can do other things, like can do other anchor weapons as well, or maybe not. But I can't. Blob can work out here, especially on Rainmaker. It can get a quick pop. But I don't know if that's what their mindset is with this one.
I do feel the Blob might make a reappearance here again. It's becoming a lot stronger on Rainmaker maps. I've found more and more people are actually bringing it into it. It's Vapor that I'm curious to know what they're going to go. Because I don't see the Explo coming out here, so I'm curious to know what Vapor is going to throw out here. But I sense the Blob will probably make an appearance here, unless if they do a last-second switch up here.
And again, it kind of starts and ends with Mofugami. That kind of needs to be the player that sets the tone for the rest of Guerrilla Tactics. Mofugami popping off in that last win, being a real annoyance for Leg with the VDS and all the roles that they're kind of busting out here. The God of Fluff, I believe, is what that translates to.
I mean, we did see Golden Ball pull off some good plays on the last game as well, getting up onto the plat, pushing the members back, winning their 1v1s. Both of those two have been putting in their work up front, allowing their teammates to hopefully follow up with them.
Yeah, Golden Ball coming out with the K-Gal. Obviously, K-Gal working in every single map and mode, but would be very strong here as well. T sticking with that Nautilus. Vapor coming out with the C-Jet, a smart... no, that's the V-Jet.
It's a V-Jet.
There goes the missile spam, 2 mains, a special power-up, and Mofugami opting to go with the CDS, saying, you're going to get all the missiles we need, Vapor. I think I can go with Rain and Splat Bomb here. QB going with the Object Shredder on their Blob Bobbler.
Mm-hmm. Even though it's not necessarily needed for stuff, but it can stop a few things. Maybe they were anticipating bubbles would come out, because that is something the Object Shredder does help for. But otherwise, the blobs, they have a pretty decent amount of shredding power in themselves.
So does the CDS when it just gets into a fight there. Rambling down 3 players, the Inzap being the last player left alive. Neppy coming off of the Slosher, sticking with the Inzap. Slosher working really well on this map. I guess they wanted Arbor and Paint to kind of help out with the rest of the comp that they got here. I guess so they can afford to use the Nautilus with the lack of paint they would have without it. But still, opening push shut down immediately by Guerrilla Tactics. They have some specials ready online. Missiles, Bomb Rush, and Armor. But that Hydra sitting right there. Missiles getting thrown at the Hydra. Now the Bomb Rush is going to clear out that elbow. As, but who's that? As Neppy from behind shutting everything down. It looked like a good situation.
It was a lot of missiles on the Rainmaker's head. The Rainmaker walked into their own and their teammates, so Neppy was just kind of there in case they didn't survive that mush of missiles.
Mushy missiles, 3 players going down. Kai forced to retreat along that right side, but yet again, like you said, missiles are ready to go, and they should be coming out pretty soon as the rest of the players from Leg respawn and they can capitalize off the discombobulation of the missile stuff. But the missile player gets taken down, and look at Vapor is scooting. Neppy trying to shoot their own feet. They're able to get that splat. 29 remaining. Leg able to clean this up, but Bomb Rush could get something cheeky going here. It's putting a lot of paint down, but it doesn't look like anybody else is around from the side of Guerrilla Tactics to make something happen here. They realize Neppy is around that elbow, but it's a very orange area on that side. Even though they do grab the Rainmaker, it looks like they will drop it down. So damage, total disaster avoided, but still 29 remaining. Good opening push.
That blob, even just to stall, the Bomb Rush was there just to keep them back from trying to get anything done, and just the pressure from the blobs themselves, keeping paint up and just stalling. And they got another Bomb Rush already. It's 3 Bomb Rushes already coming out here, and that's pretty strong here. And now the blob's in a pretty key place here to paint, seeing if they can maybe poke these people out. But they go down just as I was saying that they're doing a lot of control.
Yeah, that was a scary situation for the Rainmaker to be popped right there on your right side of the map. They could have got a lot more points off that if that blob didn't go down, because that blob was causing a lot of paint to go into the favor of Guerrilla Tactics on that side. So that's another situation right there where Leg is kind of lucky they don't have more of a deficit to work against here. But that push still wasting a lot of time. A minute 30 left to go here. April picking out a... oh, wow, look at all these players. The Rainmakers in mid. Why are we having this huge fight so far away? Wow. Okay. Very aggressive is the Guerrilla Tactic team.
I don't know if the point is just to stall it out more, or maybe there was just a miscommunication there, but either way, it's still working out for them. Either Mofugami or Golden Ball's just up on the plat here, while Vapor and QB are just keeping an eye on objective. So it's just kind of a paired strategy here, where the Slayers are going in different angles here and getting flank picks, while the other 2 are just following up with objective.
It's a party in the Leg side of the base right now, and Guerrilla Tactics has not been invited, but they're not leaving anyways. Finally, all those players get taken down, but during the course of all of those flanks, and we might not be done with the flanking party right here, a minute comes off the clock, 12 more points gets added to the lead, and now this Inkjet, Mofugami making the move right now. April recognizes it, and April hit the splat, No, but no players kind of back off here, but they're still recognized. They're forced to split their attention. And now 2 more players going down and more flanks coming around through the mid area. And wow, look at the swarming of Guerrilla Tactics. Just, oh, look at the pause. Look at the pause. They could have got that splat at any time. Decided to wait for more time to come off the clock to guarantee they can't pick up the Rainmaker again. What a heads-up play right there.
That was a smart play. Just realizing how much time was left on the clock, just waiting on this ledge. They know they're the last one alive. They don't need to rush this. And just gets it so then they don't have to worry about any overtime at all. It's just done. Sealed the deal.
That did not look like a team that was nervous at all. I mean, you're one game away from being sent the losers bracket. They looked way too comfortable. Played so loose, especially when you got. Now it's easier to play loose when you got a huge lead like that. But just the guts to constantly take fights deep into the enemy territory when you don't even have Rainmaker, just showed the how much comfort they had on that pick. And now here's the real question, because Leg has to make this counter pick. I really don't think they want to go in Clan Blitz against this comp. I think that's the last thing they want to do. But do you go back to Rainmaker? In theory, they could go back to that map again. If they really like Rainmaker right here, they could go right back there. They didn't win on that map or mode, but yeah, they got a tough decision they got to make here, because they can't go to splat zones. They already won. They can't go to tower control. So this isn't a slam dunk for them at all. I guess we're just gonna wait and see what they pick here.
I'm like, if they do go to Clan Blitz, I feel like they'd try to pick one of the maps that could be more in the Hydra's favor. Like I know, like Piranha Pit, for example, can be, depending on how they play it. I don't know how April plays that map. Whether it's more offensive or more defensive, but that could be one if they know how to do that one. If they do Clan Blitz, the other one, maybe Snapper, but they'd really have to keep street control for that. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not really anticipating a Clan Blitz pick.
I mean, I think you kind of hit it on the head. Not that I want to offer suggestions, but they're going with Clan Blitz at Mako Mart. I was about to say Clan Blitz at Piranha Pit. That is. We have seen Hydra players. I believe we saw Bebop drop a 20 bomb, like a 25 bomb or something with Hydra on Clan Blitz at Piranha Pit. I mean, that is just a really good map to use Hydra on. Clan Blitz here, Mako Mart, it can work. I mean, it's not the biggest map, so there's not a lot of ground that you need to cover with it. And if you get comfortable in one of those stacks in mid, you can do some serious damage here. But yeah, I mean, it would be hard for them to go back to Rainmaker how that last game just ended. And it looks like DRF is coming in for QB, which makes sense. You definitely want to try Slosher here. So that's the adjustment Guerrilla Tactics is going to make. But here we go, a critical game 5. Winner goes on to grand finals, and loser gets sent to losers finals. A lot on the line here. And I guess a comp decision is going to need to be made by Leg.
I'm thinking the junior's probably going to come out here. Just part of me feels that the junior's coming out for me this game. We saw it before on the Inkblock Clams game prior in the last set. But yeah, just having... I know in some cases Hydra can struggle for control here. Yep, there it is.
And I think one of the reasons, with the X-Splosh coming back out as well, the Baller X-Splosh. So, okay, I like what's going on here. I think another reason why they want to do Junior is to help maximize T's Nautilus, just to give them more paint and armor to work with those Inkjets, because Inkjets work out really well here as well. But Mofugami going in! That's in it, the 20 seconds already looking for somebody to fight. This is the definition of skirmishing, now drawing a little bit of attention, backing off a little bit here as one player goes down on each side. They try Slosher and the X-Splosh here as things start to stall out, but Yeah, looks like Guerrilla Tactics definitely using some Guerrilla Tactics here. They're being the more aggressive team in this opening minute.
They are. Like, the quicker you can get over there and stall out your opponents from coming in, the better. In this case, it looks like Leg got an advantage on their left stack there, and they got 2 down. Delayed 3, but even with the X-Flush there, just trying to hold control the best they can on their left stack and just poking around, seeing if they can keep paint. That was a close bomb.
If Leg can find a way to get a splat here, they can get going. They do have the clams they needed, but instead, their Tri-Slosher goes down. Mofugami now, sharking around this right side, does take down one player. The last player left alive in the freezer, forced to retreat. And look at all these clams, 22-0 in favor of Guerrilla Tactics. Mofugami not interested in the objective at all, still trying to take some fights around that right side. Kai ultimately does take them down. Is Vapor going to build up a ball, throw it in? They do, and stays alive at least a little bit longer to draw some more fire. 2 players left alive from the side of Guerrilla Tactics. Not a huge score, but not a bad opening first 2 minutes for Guerrilla Tactics, but a lot of resources on the side of Leg to try to make a response here.
A nice little pick there from Golden Ball, but yeah, Vapor there making the ball and scoring the entire ball instead of throwing in individual clams was definitely the go-to there, because they know that they didn't have long to survive. But this looks like it's in Leg's favor now, getting that 3 down.
One player left alive, just Vapor on the X-Splosh there as Neppy trying to make the response right there. Takes down the X-Splosh, gets Hellfire from above, erases them. Kai being the last player left alive, does it again. Builds up a Power Clam and throws it in at the last minute. I don't think they had that Power Clam, just grab one at the right time. But the wipe, you do not want to get wiped on this map ever, even when you're pushing. Because now look at the response. Look how quickly Guerrilla Tactics is pushing back up here. Now they're getting the suction bomb rush to make sure that everybody from Leg stays back. One player does go down. Golden Ball so close. They're just kind of going to juggle clams. Throws it to DRF, who should be able to pop this basket. And they're going to add to their lead. Look how far up they're going into this base. Can they get some splats to go along with this aggression, though? And the answer is no. 2 players going down from the side of Guerrilla Tactics. Make that 3. Vapor does not have anything left, so yeah, basically a delayed wipe on the other side, and now we're going to see Leg come firing right back. Man, I love this map. There is no chill here ever.
No, and what Guerrilla Tactics is doing really well, like on both of these pushes they've done, like they've gotten the man advantage. They have so many clams to work with, and they're immediately pushing forward. Like they're doing everything right.
How'd that miss?
They missed the clam!
How did that miss? They were in the right position, just the angle of the launch a little bit off. That should have been lead. Sad. That should have been lead for Leg, and now a minute 20 left to go. Man advantage in the side of Guerrilla Tactics, but I mean this is the game where you just feel like whoever scores last is going to be the team that wins. And it might just be Guerrilla Tactics right here. 3 players going down. Just 12 points remaining. They have all the claims they need. Mofugami spawn camping. This is going to be your winner's bracket right there. Guerrilla Tactics. Down 2-0 reverse sweep on all of the counter picks that Leg had to offer. And they're going to win grand finals of Low Ink.
Ooh, man, did they knew what they were doing. I think at the beginning they couldn't get what they wanted to do off, but afterwards, like after the first couple games, I think Guerrilla Tactics adapted to what Leg was throwing at them. So that's why we saw them push in more. We saw how they kind of like split a bit, and they were controlling the backline support that Leg has. They were controlling that, and that allowed the rest of Guerrilla Tactics to move in. And even in this clams game, like I said, they pushed all in when they had the advantage. They had like 20 plus clams. Everything was in the right.
The real shifting point in that set was the moment in game 3 where Leg had their last opportunity to create a lockout and get the win there. They had control of the zone. They didn't have lead. But instead of being aggressive, trying to force Guerrilla Tactics into a situation to where they had to make the mistake, they stayed back. They let Guerrilla Tactics come to them. And ever since that moment, Guerrilla Tactics has been the more aggressive team. They realized, okay, you guys are playing more passive this entire time. We're going to force you to make the mistake. We saw that in Game 4. They kept the pressure up nonstop. We saw it in that Game 5. They kept the pressure up literally from the beginning. Mofugami was looking to spawn camp from the start of the game. So the aggression just completely, the switch for aggression completely flipped. And that's been the difference that whole set, and that's why Guerrilla Tactics won that one.
What a comeback from him. And that was fantastic to see. Just... good job to both teams here, and congrats to Guerrilla Tactics for making winners grands.
Yeah, they're moving on to grand finals, and now they get to sit and wait for a good little chunk of time, and so does Leg to a little extent as well. But we got yet another rematch in losers semifinals now. Snowfall, who's eliminated from winners by persistence, has made a run here, knocking off ITAP, eliminating MyLag Paradise, and now is set up for a rematch against Persistence, who lost to Guerrilla Tactics earlier 3-2, who has just beaten Legato, sent them out of the tournament. So Snowfall versus Persistence. No, this is not the year 2020. This is Persistence is back. They have beaten Snowfall twice in this tournament. They beat him once yesterday, 2-1. They beat him earlier today, 3-1. But I'll tell you right now, it's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row.
Yeah, it is definitely difficult. And if they pull it off, wow, then it's good. But I'm personally hyped to see Persistence back. This is throwback for me when we were rivals back in the day. This is just seeing them playing again here. I have a personal fave on Persistence here, but I am waiting to see what Snowfall has to bring for them.
Yeah, I mean, Persistence a really old team. I mean, they used to scrap with Destiny troops back in the day. Obviously, you said the Grillers. Xanadu was a big thorn in their side for a long time. I mean, all these old teams are very familiar with Persistence, all of whom have long since been banned from Low Ink. Either they won it or just got too good. But Persistence went on a very lengthy hiatus, came back, played in a lot of tournaments, didn't look like the same Persistence that we've come accustomed to seeing. But now, after a couple of months, they're finally back. It seems like they've shaken off some rust here. And we'll see what they can do here. This is a best of 3 set. Game 1 being Splat Zones at Humpback Pump Track. Yi, who brings the most Booyah Bombs, usually wins. There's one from the side of Persistence, and there's one from the side of Snowfall with the Dynamo.
Snowfall with the Dynamo. And Dynamo can be very controlling here in mid, as we can see, but they have to put up with all this range that Persistence has.
You know, it's interesting. When these two teams played earlier in Winners, this was the counter pick that Snowfall used, and they won.
Oh!
So, how lucky for them that they basically get a free counter pick right here in Game 1. And it looks like Zone kind of just stalled out here initially before ultimately going into the favor of Snowfall. But it doesn't look like
not for long. Stormy here waiting out the side here, using this obstacle for as much cover as can possibly get, but is seen out by the Dynamo and this try, and that's a lot of fall off there. I didn't see where Stormy went, or if he went down, but it looks like that they're still around. They're trying to maintain cap here. Specials coming out left and right. Dynamo's still here on the zone, trying to make a presence. Something Persistence needs an answer to.
Yeah, the Dynamo, I guarantee you, is the reason why Snowfall likes this map, especially the Booyah Bomb one. It's, I believe Kai is how that is pronounced, Khai. If they can just stay back there, they're going to be a huge problem for Persistence, and Stormy recognizes that. Maybe gets a little too greedy trying to take care of that player, but ultimately the Dynamo does go down. Man advantage in the favor of Persistence. They'll get lead here, and they'll be looking to get a whole lot more than that before they get penalty points applied.
And we see the Gal trying to hold zone the best they can, just keeping their walls so that they don't die to burst bombs. A lot of members of Snowfall are in the same corner here. They got armor. I think push is about to happen here. Rain, Booyah, armor. 3 specials come out, and missiles is the only thing that Persistence has to counter with at the moment. They do get a pick out of it. And now there's armor and the second Booyah. So the counters come out, and they've reclaimed zone. And gets a delayed wipe in the matter.
It gets wiped. But now, here, how do you get out of a lockout here? You build up some specials, but you can't just sit back and wait. Bear Paw has some missiles to work with here. Waiting for the right time, maybe trying to get all 4 of them kind of locked out. Instead, opting to go with the 2 that's on the left. Fighting Shadow absolutely takes care of 1 player, but it ends up being a trade. Bear Paw being very passive back here, waiting for the players. Risho survives the Booyah Bomb with the splashdown armor, I guess. But not enough to keep control of zone. Penalty points already gone for Snowfall as they get their first legit push of the game with 3 minutes gone from the clock.
Yeah, you almost wonder if maybe if they could have locked out a little better if Bear Paw was playing more mid. And I think like the missiles were one to just figure out which way they were going, and they were locked onto the ones on the left just to give their teammate a little bit of extra cover, because they did end up getting kind of the trade back in that situation.
No lockout really being established by Snowfall just yet. Persistence doing a good job of not getting wiped and starting to win these 1v1s. I say that and that becomes a trade instantly. But still, they're, well, actually, I was about to say that again. Now, that's finally a wipe. They took care of Bear Paw, who had missiles ready. Just stayed at that elbow instead of jump back. That's not devastating, but because they'll get missiles back in like 2 seconds, and they're already back, actually. But still, that's going to be enough to get lead, I believe. They throw the missiles and the Booyah Bomb at the same time. A Booyah Bomb getting thrown out by Snowfall to kind of slow down Persistence a little bit. No splats have been landed yet by either team. Zone still in control of Snowfall as 2 players go down. Bear Paw, the last player left alive. Missiles are not. There's nothing they can do by themselves with that V-Jet. This is going to be game 1 going to Snowfall. Yes.
Yep.
It is. And this is best of 3. So winning game 1 is critical because now Persistence has to win 2 in a row or they're done.
Yeah, I think what is it? We saw like the anchor was being a bit more passive there, but unlike their last push for zone there, like the lead was reclaimed by Snowfall. Persistence was trying to go in. We saw the H3 kind of get stuck in a corner there and just not able to get the picks on the Zap, who was just dodging left and right. Just because the nozzle nose has to be a lot more accurate to their shots. They were just missing, and in the end, were called out and got 2v1. It's just like, I wonder if maybe the nozzle nose could have played back a little more, maybe not got themselves in a sticky situation like that. But I'm not too sure where the rest of Persistence was, besides where their jet was, usually by a window.
And now, again, we kind of mentioned this. That was essentially a free counter pick for Snowfall on game 1 there. I mean, that's the map they wanted to go. That was like their do or die map that they used against Persistence, getting the win there. Persistence knows how to get a win against Snowfall, though. They beat them twice already straight up. 2-1 yesterday, 3-1 earlier today. So they know what maps Snowfall struggles with the most. So you got to feel they got a huge advantage here in game 2, and kind of an advantage in game 3 because Snowfall can't go back to Splat Zones or Humpback, which is a map and mode they clearly feel comfortable in. So it's not a guarantee that if Persistence wins game 2 that they're at a huge disadvantage of game 3. But regardless, you always want to be the team that wins the first game in any counterpick scenario because it's like having home field advantage. I think we're just waiting for the counter pick to come in from the side of Persistence at this point. And it looks like they are going to go with tower control at Anchovy Games. So, and they did use this one earlier, and they did win on this one. Oh. Or actually, I think this was the counter pick Snowfall used that Persistence won on anyways, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm curious to know, well, I think I kind of have an idea of what Persistence might bring. I don't know if they're going to change off of the the Booyah there. They might end up bringing 2 because I know Bear Pro can play a remix. But it'll be interesting to see if maybe the 52 comes out or they'll have like the shot. Interested to see what they'll bring out here, or if the Dynamo's going to stay as well.
Yeah, Bear Paw can be very effective on a Splatling, but I think they used V-Jet, or I think they used C-Jet here earlier in this one.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of flexibility coming out from a lot of these players here. Dolphin, I guess just Dolphin. Using that H3 the last time. I guess Dolphin kind of makes sense. The H3 has a dolphin on it.
Yeah, it does.
They're using it as well, but Stormy being the longtime captain of this team, able to somehow bring everybody back from the dead. With that K-Gal has been really strong. I think that's where Persistence kind of starts and ends with where Stormy goes there. So we'll see.
Yeah, you can definitely see that too.
And we do see that C-Jet coming back out. No comp surprises from, I guess, either team there. The Flings with missiles coming out from the side of Snowfall. And yeah, no real surprises or comp changes from either team.
So yeah, Persistence going with the strong Booyah Ray combo. It's a lot of control on the tower. It's just, you want on it, we're going to get you off. As long as they're staggered in the right time. So having those specials ready in important moments is pretty key. And if this is what they ran before, it makes sense.
And the missiles couldn't fire directly on that early Stingray that doesn't accomplish anything as no players go down from the side of Snowfall. This first checkpoint is going to fall. Deja vu of how this game started off last time. More missiles coming out. That is a double missile comp. Yes, you love to see it. Coming out from the side of Snowfall as the third missile is fired off in this push alone, discombobulating the players. How do you survive that?
How did he
combined with the Stingray, not finish them off is either, and still getting
a panic.
What the? Nerf this Flinksa player. What is going on here?
Kai popping off, but then finally going down. Wow. That was just... Wow.
The push still going on. Can they clear this second checkpoint? They do. Clearing the second checkpoint in the first minute and 20 seconds. Things have kind of stalled out here a little bit, but Persistence in a deep hole. None of these players seem too interested in leading their side of the map from Snowfall. As another player gets taken down, that's Stormy getting taken down from a Splat Bomb. And Stingray gets eaten up as well from the Tri-Slosher. Somebody hops back onto the tower. Man advantage completely in the favor of Snowfall right now as Persistence has to dig deep to find a way. They do finally take down the plot-armored Flingsa roller, but missiles forcing them back yet again. And another player, a direct landed by Dolphin. That was critical. Persistence able to get back into mid now, but 2 minutes gone on that push.
Wow. That was like, is there ever actually going to be an end, or is it just going to be a KO? But Persistence there finally managing to get picks on the roller and making their way back, even when specials were still being thrown at them, when Snowfall was still a man down. They were still holding ground really well. Even now, like, it's not taking them long to take their portion of turf control back. Persistence with 3 specials at the ready are starting to launch them, but Snowfall can counter these specials pretty quickly.
You know, it's interesting. Persistence has been doing a good job of coordinating specials, honestly. Like the Stingray and the Booyahs are coming out right with each other at the same kind of targeted area to kind of force players into a certain area, but they're not getting any splats at all with them.
Yeah.
Maybe they're concentrating their specials too much on one area instead of trying to like force them into each other. But regardless, the specials are coming out. They're just not getting any value for Persistence as yet another push is coming out from Snowfall.
Yeah, like we've seen a few of the Rays and the Booyahs go in the same direction. Meanwhile, something they could do is use the Ray to herd people into a Booyah bomb. It's something that I've seen done before, and that could have helped them. But Persistence just in a hard stagger here. They are struggling against this aggression, and Dolphin stuck at this corner. And can they stop this? They stopped it. They stopped it at 1. It's not over.
Point meme Persistence a minute and 20 seconds to figure out how to get a KO on this map and keep their tournament hopes alive. It's starting to look like counterpicking a map the other team counterpicked earlier, even though you beat them on it, might come back to haunt them here. They do have the specials to work with. They need, and they fired once again, Stingray at Booyah Bomb. They need to get a splat with either one of these specials, and Bear Paw able to pick off one, and that's huge. That roller player has been a thorn in the side of Persistence all day long, and now Shad's on the tower. Bear Paw building up yet another Stingray, but still being passive, not being a part of the aggression, and the Tri-Slosher punishes it. Mauricio able to take down another splat, but here, look, only one player left alive here, Tim.
Yeah, there's only one left alive. Was just trying to get the checkpoint, but in the end, is the demise there. I just probably could have maybe stepped back a bit and see if they can hold ground and just kind of keep tower stalled, because they did have a player not too far behind. Just unfortunate that they went down there. So now they have to really regroup and make sure that they can work as a unit here to get Snowfall out. And they do get this roller out of the way once again. Booyah coming out, trying to push people off fan here, and the Ray coming out trying to also delay here, but they haven't gotten another pick with any of these specials. Oh, there we go. The Ray finally got it.
He ends up getting taken down. Two players.
Two for two
for the game. The Tri-Slosher clearly a bit of an advantage there, taking care of one. And a little wave at the end there. Little post-up styling as the tower slides past. Persistent, welcome back. We see you're just as strong as ever, but it's still not yet in the cards. We'll see you again next month, but still. Snowfall, 17 KA from that Tri-Slosher. We talked about the Flingza being a thorn in the side. Meanwhile, there's a Tri-Slosher that just punished everything Persistence tried to do.
I was going to mention this afterwards here, and now that the game's done, but the Trio was always in the face, and I think they were picking off like the main aggressors of Persistence. They were just getting the proper off angles, getting their sloshes in the right places, because I think the 52 on Persistence was struggling a lot, because I saw like towards mid to end of that game, they didn't have a really high KA at all. And they didn't get didn't get too many specials off. So I think the 52 was really struggling to find a way in, because the try was in the way, plus the fall off of the roller and the double missiles. I think their Slayers had a hard time trying to move in, and that's what allowed the aggression to just keep going, and the bucket just was able to dominate.
I just realized who that bucket was. I should have known this. But that is Snek, a player for BLT, Bad Luck Trout. Snek is a sub. Kind of the story of this lowing, kind of like last month, a lot of subs had to be found last minute. A lot of teams dropped last minute. A lot of teams dropped during the actual bracket 2 minutes after it started. So there's been a lot of subs going around all these teams. Snek, obviously, and being the only player with enough game sense to recognize that they are not going to leave the stream lobby. So they actually stayed because they know they're going to be streamed until they lose at this point.
Good job. Good job.
But yeah, coming in, the sub coming in and just kind of ripping things apart for Snowfall. The nice pickup there from Snowfall from the sub market, the very limited sub market that we have.
Yeah, and now we see, what is it? We got Snowfall and Leg going head-to-head now.
Leg, but with SNorkEl. I haven't quite figured that out. Is that because the Leg looks like a snorkel? There's nobody named SNorkEl on their roster that I'm aware of. They're wearing snorkels in game? Are you serious? Have they no, wait. Have they all been wearing snorkels and we just haven't recognized that? We'll look at that at the start of the next round. That's not something I don't pay attention to drip, believe it or not. I guess.
Yeah, I haven't either.
We'll keep an eye on that, though. I was wondering why it said "but with SNorkEl." I was like, who is SNorkEl? I've never heard of that player. Regardless, though, losers finals. Best of 5. Counter picks in play here, as they always are. Leg taking on Snowfall. I'm going to do a quick search. It's helpful that all these teams were in the same Swiss group, so it's easy to see if they played each other. or not yesterday, and it looks like the answer to that is no. Persistence, or Snowfall getting their first win over Persistence. Like I said, it's hard to beat a team 3 times the Low Ink. That's exactly why. But this will be the first time these two teams have matched up against each other, at least in this version of Low Ink.
What'll be interesting to see here is like it's kind of what we saw when we saw Leg versus Guerrilla Tactics. Guerrilla Tactics adapted to Leg's strong anchor style play, and just kept up the aggression. Here we saw in the last set how Snowfall just kept all of the aggression going on that tower anchovy, and if they do the same thing, I think Leg might struggle.
Yeah, this isn't the. This is where the losing streak began for Leg. This exact map and mode, so they're probably not too thrilled to see it here. Or maybe they're welcoming the fact that they can exercise some demons, get some momentum back here in game 1. But obviously, Snowfall coming in with a lot of momentum here. They just beat the only team that has beaten them, I think, all day long, or all tournament long. Did Snowfall go? Snowfall went 5-1 yesterday. The only team to beat them was Persistence. They've lost one match today. The only team to beat them was Persistence, and they just beat them. So Snowfall has overcome the bully that has been bullying them. They're on a 3-match winning streak here in Losers Bracket, and they actually won in round 1 of Winners Bracket as well. So they fit the mold of a team that can win this tournament. It'll all come down. It won't all come down, but this game 1, obviously with counter picks, very critical.
Very critical, and biggest thing to see is if Leg is going to keep up the aggression this time around and not let up, because we saw that if they let up, the other team will just bounce on it.
Nautilus coming back out from the side of Leg as they have dropped the Hydra.
They did drop the Hydra
all together. They used Hydra on this map and mode last time. Maybe they just saw something in that. They must have been watching the stream and maybe just saw those missiles that they were coming out with and said, "Nah, bro, we're fine." But ultimately, kind of rocking with this Nautilus K-shot comp that they got here.
Quick, they haven't capped yet, but the Snowfall here with the quick advantage, just getting the immediate 3 down, and Dynamo's in a prime spot here, and it's just the Junior left up on top, and players aren't really in position for a lockout yet, but with the Dynamo where it is, they aren't going to get towards that ledge anytime soon, unless if these missiles can do something about it. But if the one still falls, with Snowfall being up in that corner.
Yeah, the K-Shot player getting taken down here, and they do have some rain to work with here from Snek to attack that flat as Leg players are starting to spawn back in, starting to build up some specials of their own. They can't afford to get splatted at this point right now, and they recognize one player caught off in their ink spot, jumps out without getting the splat, now starting to attack the zone as my body starts to explode, and now other players coming back in. A 2v2 situation where the Nautilus can't paint the zone on their own. They'll need to get some splats, and they don't do that. It is forced to jump out. Oh, I think you got to take that fight right there. I don't think you have enough time to jump out. I mean, it's going to be a difficult situation either way, but yeah, jumping out surrendered the game. I think you just had to take that fight and see what happened.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta go for it, but I part of me thinks that they didn't realize how much time was actually left on the counter to know that, and I don't think it was called. But otherwise, the first start by Snowfall, I noticed that, the Junior kind of stayed behind the paint for a quick special instead of kind of going down and tossing bombs on the zone to help their team move in. Instead, Snowfall just kind of got a free take of top mid there, and even though they didn't cap the zone right away, they got everyone into place right away.
The first time all day, Leg goes down game 1, and now tower control Schellendorf.
Gee, I wonder what's gonna show up here.
Yeah, it was a surprise they didn't use it last time, because they're clearly they're clearly a better team as a whole when it's in the lineup than versus when it's not. Not that there's anything wrong with Junior, but it's just the identity. They're really struggling with this identity shift that they're going with this faster paced comp. It doesn't appear to be who they truly are. And yeah, if you can on this map, if you got a Hydra and you don't have an anchor on the other team, and all you got to do is just use the run speed you have on the glass to dodge all those missiles that get thrown at you. You can set up shop up top there and get a little too comfortable, possibly for Snowfall's liking.
But from the way Snowfall goes, there's a chance that they'll be like, okay, we'll just have to figure out a way to get around. I imagine one of them is going to try to take flanks when they can from the side. Missiles are going to be their guide on this map, so as long as they move in with that and see if they can maybe sneak around, keep what they're doing with the pressure, they do have an answer for this.
And I think we'll still see the Nautilus too. You can afford to run the Hydra and the Nautilus together. It seems like that's kind of and there it is. Yep. Especially when you combine it with the N-Zap and the K-Shot that are going to put the paint down. You don't need a ton of paint on this map, honestly. Especially for tower control. So the comp leg here is fine. You can see why this is their counter pick for sure.
Oh yeah.
Their comp seems just fine for this one. Meanwhile, Flingza coming back out from the side. A lot of arcing weapons here with 2 sloshers and a Flingza from the side of Snowfall.
Ooh, that was a nice bomb thrown there by Snek. Just getting these people stuck in these positions here and just jumping on it, and the mine, the well-placed mine, it is a great mine spot to put there because you know someone's going to come up after you, so why not mine it?
T trying to build up an inkjet as this second checkpoint is being approached by Snowfall. A lot of pressure being thrown towards the way of T, but the N-Zap goes down as well as the K-Machine. So 2 players going down, make that 3, so this push is stalled. The second checkpoint saved right now for Leg as April starting to get established up top there on glass, trying to clear out some space for the rest of Leg to get in position to get a push going.
Yeah, April's back in prime position. We saw earlier the Tri-Slosher was trying to shark in that corner there, but did get, I think, picked off by a bomb or realized by the K-Shot. It was a good try. But now in this case, Leg in a prime spot here. They got missiles out. They're looking to see if they can move in off of that. I think they recognize how many people are on this one side, so... But, oh, they did get the 2 down here.
Oh, that's Ray with it. Honestly, kind of a clutch pick right there. I don't know if they might have heard that somebody was there, like the sound was making the connecting sound. But from our perspective, it just looked like, I accidentally killed somebody. And now the rest of that was huge because they lose the lead, but who cares? They saved that checkpoint. That slowed things down just enough for the rest of the players of Snowfall to jump back in. And look how far up Snek is on this right side, taking down Neppy. And now Neppy's probably screaming, hey, there's a Tri-Slosh back here. The players turn back to respond to it, but lose control of tower. And Missile's going to come out and slow things down a little bit here as Kai able to pick off another player who I think is pronounced Kai as well. Make that a double, make that a triple. The K-Shot starting to pop off here. What a response.
Here we go. Yeah, I think what Stek was trying to do was be the distraction up on the side just to take the fire away that the Hydra had on tower, and it worked for a short amount of time, but then the K-Shot just came in and said no.
Hydra taking care of the player on the tower by themselves. The rest of these arcing weapons. This must be why they're using the K-Machine and the foil just to kind of attack this Hydra from a distance here, or get underneath and kind of arc those shots there. But still, April just kind of riding up top of this glass here, putting a lot of pressure across the entire map, helping out their teammates as needed, as we do see T riding the tower, Inkjet ready to go. K-Shot from Kai getting taken down, and it doesn't look like, T's forced to jump out yet again. April kind of stuck in an awkward spot right here, forced to kind of stay alive, back up a little bit into an awkward situation. Snek doing Snek things yet again. And I don't know if they realize it. What kind of route is going here? Straight to the Hydra from the back door. Hello! And now you got a Tri-Slosher on your glass and control of tower. They clean it up. But yeah, wow, there's a nice flank, but I don't know if it's going to lead to anything.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to hit too much at this point. It was getting close, but this is just a tight corner right here. Two going down. Oh, wow. Okay, missiles. Snack again! Snack again!
How'd you get back there? How'd you get back there with a triple? Oh, no! Snowfall's going to get lit off of that. How?
I don't know how he got in there, but I just saw them on glass, and I'm like, they're doing it again! This is their goal right now. Get up behind the Hydra and get rid of the turret! And that is what happened. I think the first time, I think, was a miscommunication because the Nautilus knew the try was there. The second time, I don't think anybody knew. The second...
Less than 30 seconds left to go here. Lead and the checkpoint falls. More importantly than getting lead, they got a whole checkpoint lead right now. The tower is currently in possession of Leg, but missiles are online. And if I'm Leg, I'm not happy until that Tri-Slosher is dead. One more player does go down. Make that 2, though. So here's the situation for Leg. Can they stay on this tower? Ray being the last one left alive. And no, the Hydra is nowhere near able to hop onto the tower. And what we're talking about Sneck, and we talked about Kai, but that was a complete team effort there at the end. Hold on from Snowfall. But man, they played that perfectly. They threw all the flanks, and just one flank has to land to open up the doors and end everything. And I'm legitimately confused how Snack got back there. It must have jumped to somebody or just found a way to put a beacon down with a Tri-Slosher. I don't know, but man, just to set up shop there and would not leave the glass. That's a huge problem.
I didn't see how, but I think they just snuck up, like literally just went up the back. I think it was the longer way where no one was really paying attention because the tower was getting like closer to the one side on choke, so no one's really looking at the left side. They're paying attention to the right, and I think that's where Sneck came up again from the second time. And with it happening once, you want to keep an eye on it, but I think just all of the panic control was just by tower, and they didn't recognize where the try was coming back in.
And now we see they're going back to tower control. Manta Maria, and this is something I've been kind of talking about a lot. Teams making counter picks that work out just for themselves without thinking about their opponent. This has been the map. 2 teams have counter picked against Leg all day long, and Leg has dominated every single time. So now we get the sense of like those last matches. It was like, okay, you're just giving Leg a free counter pick for themselves. Because this is a map they clearly feel comfortable on. If I'm Leg and I'm April, I'm putting an Ink Mine at the cut, and I'm keeping an eye on the right. Maybe honestly some point sensors. Like they need to deal with that Tri-Slosher. They have to shut down these flanks because it just one flank has to land to ruin your day.
Yeah, just one flank, and like even if you do see it, you have to make sure you're responding to it. Or if like you see something happening, like I hope in their VC that they're communicating that someone is trying to come around and take down our anchor. It really has to be communicated. Otherwise, like the anchor might not see it because they're trying to help what's ahead of them.
And T coming out yet again with the Kensa Jr. They really like using bubbles on this map. And look who's going to the cut immediately.
And wins it.
They had to have known that was coming. That same exact route. And the Hydra's in position there, and already they're in trouble.
Wow. I honestly am not too sure what to say there. Like I think like the Hydra knew it was happening, but for them to just kind of let it go that way, like I know just gets the Hydra. This Hydra cannot stay alive. They are struggling.
This is you and I would know best. This is a Hydra nightmare when you cannot get established. But now so how are they going to get past the second checkpoint? I'm not quite sure. But now we start to see some players starting to push up. You got the Hydra on the crow's nest there, and TB being the last player left alive to defend. They do have bubbles ready, and this is possibly looking like tournament in elimination for leg unless they can find a way to stop this right here. They're building up some specials. They need to fire those bubbles sooner rather than later if they want to hold on to this checkpoint. And they do fire some missiles first. The checkpoint does fall. Those missiles, those bubbles still not coming out at all. Finally, a couple of players go down. It's just Neppy trying to keep this tournament hope left alive. They do get one player, but bubbles finally coming out. But they're not done.
No, they're not done yet. Look, they're just still here. They haven't left.
Wow. Wow. Honestly, I'm shocked that flank worked because they had to have known it was coming.
They had to have known it was coming. And the way you want to think of this, I know this is just like my point of this, but if you know someone's flanking you consistently and you're this anchor that needs to stay alive, you know where their route is, and the first initial flank is jump. Why not take the right? That way you have more time to stay alive and you can still apply mid control. You don't immediately have to take that bunker if you know someone's going to get rid of you immediately. So I'm confused as to why they still tried to went for it or tried to go for that pick, because it's not a winning situation. It's just really, you could trade it, but for that, it's not a winning situation for you.
Snowfall just building up a little bit too much momentum, I think, at this point, just catching leg at the right time. I think that's just a little bit of tournament nerves going on, or a little bit of frazzleness. That's when flanks work the best, when you are mentally in the head of your opponent right there. Snowfall now won 8 straight games, and they're going to be taking on the pickup team Guerrilla Tactics in winners final coming up next. We're going to take a break, go use the bathroom, go get some water, go get some popcorn, go ratio your friends on Twitter, go do whatever you need to do to get ready for grand finals of Low Ink coming up next here on IPL.
Twig got a pick. Twig got 2 picks. They neutralized the zone again. They just need to hold this area a little bit through the last hope for Aquatic Vanguard. As they get 2 more picks, and what looked like a near comeback for Myopsitis gets turned around again.
Now it's Uwu who's the team that's staggered. Kimmy is going in and is going to get punished from that, but can they clear the second checkpoint? That would be absolutely monstrous, and they do! And they get the wipe! Rising Stars! What is going on? We're going to a game 5! Wow! How do they come back?
Keep going? Nobody's on top! Who's getting completely dodged around? And this is basically an execution test?
How did that splashdown not kill Jim? How did that splashdown not connect right there? The Beast Sploosh is making all of the right plays.
With two people trying to scramble on the tower, with one on the bottom right, which is K-Pro, and everybody just throwing bombs, everything they have. Last thing ever, no pun intended, with the bubbles coming out, trying to protect the tower, jump in. Everybody's trying to get off the tower, still on the tower. How is the Splash still alive on the tower? No way! Oh my goodness, that was a clutch of all clutches if I ever seen one.
Power claim they're following the pick, which they will. At this point, I would love to see like a last second backdoor, but there's a jump for Emptiness! And Emptiness manages to get the overtime basket to seal the deal! Oh my goodness!
What perfect timing.
I'm not painting this little speck of ink, Come on, just put something down. Look at your map. Look at your map. The thing is
Oh my god! They all jumped in! Are you serious? Hello, friends, and welcome back to Grand Finals of Low Inc. here in November 2021 in a tournament filled with Div 4 teams looking to get one last opportunity to win this tournament before getting kicked off the door into mid-level hell. We are in a Grand Finals with a Div 5 pickup team and a Div 5 Snowfall team that has the lone remaining Div 4 player left subbing in for them. Snowfall taking on Guerrilla Tactics. Keep in mind, this is not the usual best of 7 nonsense because you guys make this tournament last way too long for that. Best of 5. It did, the last time we did this one, it went a full 10 out of 10 games. Guerrilla Tactics being the team from the winner side, Snowfall having to force a bracket reset if they want to find a way to win this tournament. But game 1 is going to be Splat Zones at Mako Mart. And keep in mind, Guerrilla Tactics, the deeper roster, they can sub out players as they see fit. QB coming in game 1, DRF's coming out.
Better see your guys' hypes, your own version of pom-poms in the chat, guys, because this is going to be a good set. Both of these teams can be heavily aggro. We saw Guerrilla Tactics just on this map can put pressure on, even though it was Clan Blitz, but I imagine they're going to do a similar strategy where they just go right to the other side and add pressure. Meanwhile, Snowfall can do the exact same thing with Snek on the try there, just coming around, gonna just be in the face right away. So this is going to be a great Grand Finals.
And make sure you got 45 seconds left to predict with your channel points who you're going to win. Don't hold on those channel points. Gamble! Show us who you think is going to win. You are betting on just this first set, not the Grand Finals as a whole. Just these first 5. As we see the comps coming out here, Xblosh and Blobobler. I don't... Well, yes, they did win one game with this combination. Mm-hmm. I'm still not a believer in it because they lose a lot of aggression, which is how they got into this Grand Finals with the aggression they got here. But as we saw from Snowfall, they're going to respond with aggression of their own.
The thing that'll help make this work is if the Blob can actually be more on the aggro side. Unfortunately, getting caught in a 1v1 there, it's something the Blob isn't great at unless if you're in a tight space to use geometry. But there was not the advantage for the Blob, and just it kind of went down there. But Guerrilla Tactics has this zone here. Their try is down. Booyah Bomb coming out here to see if maybe it can neutralize something, but it's being painted over pretty quickly. And but it just gets back into control here, but not for long. Just members of Guerrilla Tactics are just on these sides of these stacks here, just painting zone and keeping it up.
This Dynamo having a difficult time staying safe on that left side. It stays alive long enough just to throw off a Booyah Bomb. Snek now trying to work for getting objective, trying to find somebody to splat, just to lower the body count on the side of Guerrilla Tactics. Isn't able to take care of that baller as a Vaporwave. Choo-choo goes the train right over Snek. And now the penalty points are gone, and now we start to see the aggression coming out from the side of Guerrilla Tactics.
You gotta love to see it when the X-Flow comes in and it knows what they're about to do against a target that is weak and just like, I'm gonna run you over today.
One player left alive, gets splatted, so the spawn camp is real. Yes, yep. This is a tournament. This is 100% fine and the optimal strategy. And this is going to be game 1.
This is not good.
8-game winning streak comes to a screeching halt for Snowfall. Guerrilla Tactics up 1-0 in Grand Finals.
Woo! So this the poke here from Blob and X-Flow is definitely helping out here. Plus the consistency of Bomb Rush here and just the pressure from the 2 Slayers. They're able to get in, keep control. That Dynamo got stuck, as you can see. They tried to paint the best they can, but they kept getting pushed back. They couldn't help apply any control because just everything was at them, and they just kept the Dynamo out of play.
And this is where the roster depth that Guerrilla Tactics has can really come into their favor. The fact that they have 5 different players ready to go, and they can rotate based off of whatever the counter pick is. gives them a little bit more flexibility. It makes them, it hides the weaknesses they have more, and it gives them more strengths that they can work with. And DRF coming in here has been just as effective as every other player on this team. And now it's just kind of a question of what counter pick are they going to use, and it looks like they're going to go tower control at Anchovy. We just need one player to leave from the side of Guerrilla Tactics here. But okay, so what? Yeah, I was about to say, what are they thinking? What do you? Because Guerrilla Snowfall won on this one. They beat Persistence here. They used Flingza. The Tri-Sloshers, Snack obviously been dominant all tournament long. So maybe they're thinking they can use that again to try to even up this set here.
Vapor is the one who goes out this time on the side of Guerrilla Tactics. So there's a change up here. Because usually it's between, usually we've seen the Blob and DRF trade out here. This time it's Vapor.
Yeah,
so this will be interesting to see.
They're losing a little bit of a. Well, no, this adds to their aggression here.
It does add to their aggression.
And you're going to see Try versus Try, which is good. You know, it's kind of a taste of your own medicine kind of thing. Both these teams played against Leg, and both teams beat Leg because Leg was willing to stay back and try to absorb the punches that were thrown at them. Both teams are going to throw punches right at each other. QB opting to stick with that Blob Wobbler with Thermal Ink to help try to locate some of these players here. Snowfall trying to reclaim a little bit of momentum and get a win here, and we should see some missiles coming out very early from the side of the K-Shot, followed up roughly right next with the missiles from the Flingza, and one player does get taken down. Tri-Sloshers from each team goes down from the early pressure.
Yeah, the early pressure for both, and Mofugami kind of got stuck there in the corner as well, and also went down in the meantime. So there's really no advantage yet. It's still kind of anybody's here, but it looks like Snowfall now gets the advantage, and they're going to go all in. We've seen them go all in on the last time they did this map mode, and we'll see how they do it this time.
Yeah, Sneck going in a little bit too much, getting stuck in that kind of corner spot, but still, it didn't seem like Snowfall was able to capitalize off of it. Now Guerrilla Tactics was able to capitalize off it. Now the rest of the Snowfall players are in place here. Sneck doing Snecky things, just looking for the right opportunity for somebody to cross their face so they can get a splat. And crossing the second checkpoint would be huge for Snowfall as rain gets thrown out here from Mofugami across that tower. Only 3 players alive. Man advantage in the favor of Snowfall as missiles are getting come back out of here again, and more missiles on top of that. So they're firing these missiles right on top of each other, and that's not enough to keep the tower on the street as it starts to rotate back to mid.
It's just kind of stalled out there. Even before, I'm surprised, Sneck stayed alive in that corner as long as possible. Just the only one that could really hit it was the Blob, but earlier. But just take, the bomb, the double! Wow!
Clutch from Mofugami to stay alive there, but the missiles are going to keep them out of commission for just a little bit, but not enough to build up this Ray. If Mofugami can get this pick, and they do not, Ray gets the pick clean without a trade, and now they're in a great position to clear the second checkpoint, but 2 players back. What happened back there? 2 players by the tower just go down, make that 3. Wow, what happened there? It must have been the Blob, honestly.
It had to have been the Blob and the Try together with the poke, and it looks like that the members just kind of cycled back over there. The Blobs just, it looks like that they just got stuck in a cluster together around tower and had nowhere to go.
That was a hero play from the Blob. If that was the one who got the double on the tower and completely flipping the script of this match, it looked like it was going to be a dominant win for Snowfall, but now you're seeing lead is about to fall here. There's no way Ray survives that. This should be lead in the second checkpoint going towards Guerrilla Tactics for sure. As the players are late to spawn back in, everybody in a great position to stall this, and that exactly happens. The question is this going to be a KO, or are they going to lose that third checkpoint? Trades coming down on each side. Sneck throwing some rain, but look, these players forced so far away from the tower. The tower's moving away from them.
Yeah, I think it was stopped there. It's just like I didn't see a KO quite yet, just because it looks like people were pretty strong up on top of the perch there. Next somehow alive here out of ink, but manages to stay alive. Wow. Mofugami was just in there. I don't know what Mofugami was doing over there at this point. Like, they didn't have tower or anything, but they're just in base there.
Oh, I was watching DRF at the top of the stream there.
Yeah.
They were sharking. Instead, we just had a tri-slosher trade. I think they found each other there. What if the two tri-sloshers kiss at the court area? Well, they both explode. But now, the team that is losing right now, Snowfall, they do get a splat on the Splash-O-Matic. The bomb rush coming out from QB, but QB is forced to kind of back up here a little bit themselves. Actually, no, they're staying alive, and with a lot of paint of their own to work with until they don't have any. DRF trying to make a move on this tower, gets slapped on the head by Kai. Golden Ball in a position to make something happen, but who else? It's always Mofugami being the last player left alive. They can't save the checkpoint, however. Can they save the lead? I think the answer is going to be yes for now, because they got off the tower for some reason. What? Okay, now they hop back onto the tower, and they do get lead right here. Okay, I was about to say, that was really weird situation right there.
It was a close situation. They probably didn't realize how close it actually was, or they were just like, I'm going to try to stay alive here. I'm just going to try to stay alive, so then that way I can come in with my teammate and we can secure the lead. So that ended up being kind of risky, but it still worked out in their favor.
Snowfall needs to stop this defense right here. Mofugami starting to push up early, trying to establish some space here. Missiles, both missiles are online. Snet gets taken down. Here comes the first wave of missiles. That's going to force him off the tower for a little bit. And the second wave of missiles comes out just at the right time as well. But they don't get any splats to capitalize off of it. Two more players going down from the side of Snowfall as the lot of specials coming out here. No checkpoints in the way of stopping this tower. Trying to make a hero play, and they don't stop the tower. Guerrilla Tactics up 2-0. Man, they burned their specials early, and they got punished for it.
It was the Guerrilla Tactics had the counter to finish that up, but yeah, the specials definitely came out early there. Yep, wow. I
don't want to hear you guys going on Twitter and crying about missile spam. They just flew 19 missiles at Guerrilla Tactics and lost.
It didn't work.
They still lost. Now, those last two missiles, they fired them way too early, and they fired them right on top of each other.
Yeah, they need to be split. Like, that's how you can make the missiles work. You have to communicate them. At this point, I think a bit of panic was coming out. At this point, you need to realize how far they actually need to go and time that. So in this case, like, they definitely still had a bit of a ways to go. Like, they were still right at the very edge of their street area there, and some of them were already being fired. It's just like, you need to wait till they're at least like halfway over, get them in a cluster, and then fire them, because they did manage to get a pick on Mofugami, but they also had to deal with now the rain that was coming out and a bomb rush that was coming out, and they had nothing to counter that.
And of course, no surprises here. Splat zones, humpback pump track. We're going to see that Dynamo come back out. The Kenta Dynamo, the Tri-Slosher, obviously. So this is no surprise that this is the map they want to. If this is going to be their last counter pick, that this is their last opportunity to do so. That this is the map they want to go down with. And we saw this happen last month. We saw a reverse sweep happen last month in the first bracket of Grand Finals here. But Guerrilla Tactics, one win away from becoming the second team ever to win Low Ink in the 2-day era as a pickup, and punch their tickets not only to winning this Low Ink, but into High Ink next month. We do see the Dynamo coming back out. No surprises either. X-Splosh Blob on the side, but no Booyah Bomb, though. As double from the side of Snowfall.
Snowfall has the double Booyah Bomb, but Guerrilla Tactics has the paint through the Booyah Bomb. That is the big difference here.
Snet going down on the side of Snowfall. Ray starting to push up a little bit here, getting into the face of Vapor, and Vapor staying alive with the help of Mofugami. Punishes that, and they should be able to hold on to the zone and get more points off this.
Yeah, that was really nice teamwork there, keeping Vapor alive. They haven't played Recap Zone yet, but they do have it. They can really paint over these Booyah Bombs. Like, Guerrilla Tactics has a comp to paint through them. And if they see it coming, it can be analyzed. The blob coming in there where its geometry comes into play with the Dynamo being stuck entrenched there. That is where the Dynamo or the blob will shine there. Just punishing the people who drop into the lower ground.
They're halfway done with winning this whole tournament now. 40 points remaining. The blob getting another pick. One tie. Booyah Bomb coming out, but 2 players are down. They don't have the bodies to capitalize off of this. The blob does go down on the side of Guerrilla Tactics as Snowfall. Another player gets picked off, and another player with Stealth Jump gets taken down as well. They're feeding in literally at this point. 15 ticks to go. It's starting to look like it's all Guerrilla Tactics. A last-ditch effort. Booyah Bomb. Can it be enough to stall the zone? It does! They don't have the body count to keep it on, but they will at least provide penalty points and keep this set going slightly longer.
Oh, that was a close one. Just a little more paint shooting through those Booyah Bombs from Guerrilla Tactics, and that would have been the KO from them. Unfortunately, they just kind of stopped to refill during that second Booyah Bomb, which didn't manage to help Snowfall actually get that cap. But now they finally have 2 members of Guerrilla Tactics down, and they can actually maybe try to secure something here for some time.
Yeah, this is their first chance to create a lockout situation here. No penalty points to work with. Oh, a little bit of a fall-off kill. I don't think they meant to kill Mofugami, but they'll take it anyways. That's kind of how you start a lockout. You need to get rid of that dually player who is already back into the game and starting to build up some range from themselves. They do have Suction Bomb Rush. They do have Baller ready to go, but Bomb Rush bombs being thrown at them. The blob getting taken down. Golden Ball going in with the Vaporwave. The baller gets broken before it can explode and gets taken down. The body count is in the favor of Snowfall.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on a little bit, but 2 more players going down. This blob should be enough to take back control of zone with the rest of the players
The
coming
Dynamo's
back in.
there.
The Dynamo arching down shots. It's not going to be enough, but still a heck of a lockout, but not enough to get lead.
Look at how far down they got. They got it all the way down to 19 just after their first initial lockout. That was an amazing point there. And now they have it back, and we'll see if they can stall them all out again.
About 55 penalty points that they got to chew through. A lot of time they got to do this. Now, they have a minute 45 to work with as well. But if you're Guerrilla Tactics, you would want to just end this tournament right here. You don't want to give a team like Snowfall any kind of momentum to work with. They throw Suction Bomb, the Rush, and Baller at the same time. Caps the zone. Booyah Bomb coming directly after it. They threw 2 Booyah Bombs. One at the zone, one to try to get a splat, and it didn't get a splat with anybody. Vapor punishing somebody directly on top of them with the X-Splosh. And the zone is just trading back and forth right now. And if you're Guerrilla Tactics, you are more than happy to trade the zone. It looks like it's finally in, and one more player jumping out as 2 going down, including Mofugami. So another lockout situation being put in place here. 1 minute left to go. Snowfall trying to extend this tournament the best they can.
Anything can happen at this last minute. We've seen both of them being able to pull out a lockout when they get control. It's just, oh my goodness.
Oh.
Three go down on the side of Guerrilla Tactics there. It's just Mofugami left in the corner, and they know where they are.
This is the one player you don't want left alive. Oh, but they do find the good to get his pick with the bomb. And now can they tap the zone? I don't think they have enough bodies to do it. Booyah Bomb's going to seal this one. Get the lead and get the KO. Snowfall keeps the tournament going a little bit longer.
Oh my goodness, it was just literally reversed in pressure because at the beginning, Guerrilla Tactics, they had all the pressure on Plaid, all of that, the blob was in place, and then just after that, they just couldn't keep it. And we couldn't see that. I don't think the blob got back into a place they want. They added pressure onto the X-Blow, keeping them out of play. Even though Vapor got some decent picks and some 1v1s, there was follow-up on that 1v1 to take Vapor down. And just keeping the control, just keeping the booyahs up, and they were mostly staggered all the time too. Like there was only I think a couple times where they came out at the same time. It was always like after another if something was happening and they knew there was a lot on the zone, but they kept that lock. Like the times where they had that lock, they kept it, and that 3 down that Snowfall got on Guerrilla Tactics towards the end there to delayed wipe, that was crucial.
Now, in the reverse sweep scenario here, that was the easy part for Snowfall. now it's infinitely more difficult because they've we call them Vaporwave because Vapor's in there. Guerrilla Tactics, since they have 5 players to work with, they have a lot more flexibility in what they want to do here. They got Rainmaker and Clam Blitz, 2 modes they're really good on, as they showed in the leg set. They're going with Clam Blitz at Piranha Pit right here. It looks like DRF is staying out. Vapor and QB are staying in. So this is one of the few times they've been making a counter pick all day. Clam Blitz here at Piranha Pit. Let's see. I don't know how Snowfall can deal with this one. I mean, they can put a lot of paint down, obviously, with a lot of missiles.
It all depends on if they can play around the conveyors, I think, because they're lacking range on this one from what we've seen. Guerrilla Tactics has got 2-3 people that can apply range, and Snowfall is a lot more mid to short. So unless if they can make fights happen around where they have cover, I think is where they're going to go. They're coming out with the Explo Blob on Clam Blitz.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of paint to work with here. X-Splosh, I've seen people use X-Splosh here. That doesn't, I don't know. I mean, it's worked out for them so far in this tournament, this Blob X-Splosh combo. But it just kind of centers around Mofugami and the Splashomatic, able to get a lot of picks and kind of create a lot of pressure here, and they're doing exactly that to start off here. 2 players immediately going down for Snowball. Breeze trying to get a pick on Mofugami, going in, decides to back off here with this in-zap. And only 1 missile's coming out, so they don't have the K-Shot. Instead, they got the Nautilus, trying to bring a little bit more range here as they do take down the Blob, make that 2 players going down from the side of Guerrilla Tactics as, just as it looked like they're in an opportunity to get something going, Mofugami shuts it down until it gets splatted themselves.
Looks like the Clam did end up going in, but I don't think there's going to be any follow-up for it. I don't think Vapor's got a Clam over there, just kind of stuck in the corner there, but they did stall 2 to 3 members of Snowfall just under there, so they just couldn't move back up right away, so...
Yeah, I didn't really get what... I mean, I knew they were going in to score, but they didn't have any clams to follow up with it, and they were too busy fighting people in mid to try to do anything objective-wise. So, yeah, early lead, but doesn't account to a whole lot. 1 player does go down on the side of Guerrilla. Mofugami going down as well. So 2v4 situation. Make that a 3v4 situation. And look at the clan economy looking very strong in the favor of Snowfall right now. But, man, even them, they don't get... Oh, well. Still, they don't get a lot of value out of that hook. And look at Mofugami going in immediately.
Yeah, just getting rid of the painter first thing, and it's probably going to lurk around there until their team can follow up with something to happen. But the roller did happen to go down on Snowfall there coming in, so did end up getting a pick. Mofugami still in, getting this end zap out of play, and Guerrilla Tactics back in the base with clams. And here we go again.
Hey, I was surprised Golden Ball wasn't able to get the splat right there on the roller, but now it doesn't really matter as 3 players are down and a lot of clams. This is a map you can get a lockout in from the scoring position, but Ray able to get a splat that might shut down this push altogether. Golden Ball doing a good job staying alive, and they do get that power clam in around the back door. QB staying alive with the blob, able to get the jump, and they do get a lot more points, and the push isn't over. They've grabbed more clams. QB's going to get more as they're adding them into the basket, possibly getting the KO there. I don't know what happened right there, but Golden Ball punished it anyways. Getting a nice double. Golden Ball starting to pop off, and they get the tournament right here. They do. Guerrilla Tactics has won Low Ink in a clutch Low Ink where we thought a lot of teams were going to be fighting for their last time ever. A pickup team comes in and says, nah, fam, we're just going to take it from everybody. Guerrilla Tactics has won Low Ink.
And with this Blob X-Flow comp too, I love to see it. I love to see it.
Yes.
Wow.
But credit where credit's due. Golden Ball stepped up in a big way in that last game, hitting splats and focusing objective at the right time. Now, the Blob and the Explosh set the stage for their two players to pop off and get the win there. But still, wow, what a raise your hand. Who had Guerrilla Tactics in your fantasy bracket to win this low ink? I don't think anybody did. Wow, what a win.
What a win indeed. Both teams, they took their chances back and forth each time, and just the range that the Blob and the Explo did apply just made it hard for Snowfall to come back in, and just every poke that mattered, even when we saw the Blob being in the corner there on the conveyor, they could still lob up, and their pokes helped with their teammate. A lot of good pairing happening, and Snowfall was just kind of falling into it one by one, and voila, just lots of control. Just great control.
Yeah, hats off to Snowfall, too. A team that's won Gamma Bracket before. They qualified for Alpha Bracket last month, but they dropped, as several teams did again this time around. So they didn't actually play in Alpha Bracket last month, but we see how good they are. Obviously, they had a sub in Snek, who was clearly a difference maker for them, but that doesn't take away from what the Snowfall brand accomplished today, finishing in second place in a very tight low ink here. But Guerrilla Tactics, we were wondering who the mystery 16th team was going to be for high ink in a couple of weeks. It's Guerrilla Tactics, the team everybody knows and love, of course. The players from this team making up UCSD Esports, currently the Triggerfish Supremacy team that is Div 5 in Ludi season as well. So a complete Div 5 hodgepodge team wins the low ink and finds their way somehow into high ink.
I know it'll be great to see them again, and yeah, just good job to both teams, and congrats, Guerrilla Tactics, for taking this win.
Speaking of high ink, we're going to go ahead and plug a few more things going on here, because there's a low ink, obviously a well-known tournament, but there's a lot of other things coming down the pipe. Some things we can't tell you guys about, and some things we can. And we're going to tell you guys about some amazing opportunities that are coming up. If I can find the actual document, which I guess is in this channel right here. So bear with us for a hot second. And actually, JPEG, if you're listening, can you just post it? I cannot find it anywhere. You cannot find any. Devi, entertain people for a second.
I guess, what is it? Ludi season's happening now. There's a lot of great matches going on, so...
Nobody cares about Ludi around here.
We can talk about it anyway. There's still some good matches that happen, so...
Let's talk about High Ink, first off. High Ink 2! The Low Ink Invitational returns. High Ink 2 features 16 teams that got banned from Low Ink. Fans of Low Ink should look forward to seeing these teams return to face off. Don't forget, the winner of this Low Ink will be invited to play in High Ink as well. So Guerrilla Tactics will be in High Ink 2, or at least they'll be invited. They can always decline it, I guess. They'll be right here on IPL on December the 4th. The return of a very exciting invitational. You do not want to miss that.
Been a good while. Last one. This'll be a good one. There's already some of the team videos out there on Twitter. Definitely go check them out.
Launch Point Draft Cup number 7 is on the horizon. This LPDC, we're inviting all mid-level to join us, not just the graduates. With the skill cap set at Division 3, we hope to see some familiar faces as well as new faces. That's not all that's new, though. Tune into our stream to see our new look and to hear a very important document before Grands. Join our Discord server to sign up. You'll need to be there to play on December the 5th, 5 p.m. UTC. And Debbie, what's going on with Squidboards?
Squidboards, the revival is back. Squidboard Splat Series tournament for all players at all levels, and they hope that everyone feels welcome to be involved. The one-day event runs on December 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern. It has a Swiss stage format and 3 late stage brackets. You can find that up on Battlefy.
And Devi, where can people find you?
Oh, find me. You can find me on here on Twitch, Devi_Doovie. I usually stream all the Griller stuff, all the Hydra action you can see. Or on Twitter, just Devi Doovie. Yeah, how about you, Popgun?
You can find me playing my Ludi match in about 2 hours from now. That's what you're gonna do. That's it's always fun times. all the stuff that we do. Also, recapping this Low Ink and all the other tournaments that happened this past weekend on my stream, the Popcast, tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You do not want to miss that. But if you do, you can catch the VOD on YouTube, 25 Popgun. But that's going to do it from all of us here at IPL, the head TOs for this tournament, Hoenn, Hero, JPEG, and myself. Our producer, Ink Fair, who has been producing probably the last 20 to 25 Low Inks for us in a row now. Always doing a fantastic job behind the camera. And all of our lovely and talented staff that is working behind the scenes to make this tournament a success that it is every single month. We thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Again, your final is Guerrilla Tactics winning Low Ink over Snowfall. We will see you guys for High Ink in a couple of weeks. Enjoy your Thanksgiving and enjoy the rest of your day here at IPL.